We're not live. Now we're live. Now we're live. Hey. We're getting it all set up. We're getting it all set up. I don't know what I'm doing though. All right. Don't worry. We'll get it all fixed in just a second, guys. Bring it up here. I was gonna try to make something pretty. Now ain't nobody got time for that. It's 1 a.m. for a lot of people right now. So we're just doing the damn thing. Here we go. Oh, actually. There we go. Now everybody should be able to hear us all. Hey guys, so what's up, guys? Comics Plus in the house. We're having a very special talk about the Snyder Cut, about the Ayer Cut, about a shitload of things right now. I brought the good, bad, and the nerdy in the house here. It's up to you guys to figure out who's who in this shit because it's so first and foremost, Sam, JVS, what's going on, man?
Hey, what's going on, you guys? Thanks for having me.
Tell everybody what's your channel all about.
Team JVS. You can find us on YouTube. We do reviews, discussions. We do pretty much everything. And we also got like little mini series that are coming up, as well as we go to cons. But generally, we love everything Marvel, DC, entertainment in general. So definitely go and check us out. Team JVS.
There you go. The Knight.
What's up?
What up?
What's going on, y'all? Again, brother Ayer, appreciate it for having me, man.
My pleasure.
So those who don't know, I'm the Knight. I run my channel recently, the Film Cave. So we do live podcast shows. I do reviews, skits, just general conversations and discussions. So try to be a jack of all trades over there, man.
Mm-hmm. All right, so I mean, let's just get right into it. I don't want to beat around this because we're gonna also take some calls in just a little while when we get a few more people in on here. But I definitely want to get your guys' opinion first and foremost about many things. Let's go with the warm up act first. The warm up act here is that Ruby Rose. And you guys, let me know if there's any technical problems with audio or anything like that, because I don't have anybody in the background to let me know if I'm fucking up. Now, Ruby Rose.
Looking at it now.
Ruby Rose has left the Batwoman series. You guys were actually with me. We were all in New York together. We watched the premiere of the Batwoman, and that was it. I watched one episode and I was done with one episode. But have any of you guys actually watched the show since that one premiere?
I watched the entire season. I absolutely love it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And
so I was on the opposite side of that spectrum. I did not watch any since the pilot, and it's sad because normally I give everything the time of day, but I think the crossover episodes with her, I was kind of like, okay, I might revisit this and see, but I honestly have not seen it.
I understand, and that's fair enough. I mean, I think that was kind of over. It was just too much for me. I was like, you know what? Arrow is retiring, and so am I. But the main point I want to say is the fact that so Ruby Rose has actually left the Batwoman series after just one season, and that would be about, I would say, 2 or 3. I want to say about 2 years, or 2 or 3 years. She had the that role of playing Katie Kane, Batwoman. So. A little shocking, but I'm sure there's a lot of behind-the-scenes stories about this. But I guess your impressions, guys, of her leaving. Go ahead, Sam. Go ahead, you first.
So I'm a little shocked because she went through so much of a grinder to get to the place that she's at now. Like the social media uproar with I think one of the first trailers, which I think that they positioned it really bad and made it look like gender specific in the wrong kind of way. It literally took the taste out of people's mouths like before they even got to the character. And it's kind of like, oh man, I hate that Ruby's going through all this, because I like people at least need to give her a chance. And then I think she messed up. She herniated 2 discs.
Yes. Like
on injury on set for this. And it's kind of like, she seemed like she was just owning it. She seemed like she wanted to go full tilt for it. But it's like, I'm really surprised that she would just leave her own fruition. I think it's more so that there's some other stuff going on in the backfold that's happening.
Really?
That we don't know about.
Okay.
I'm very serious because I don't think that she would just openly just leave like that without there being some kind of underlying reason, you know, whether or not they're going to phase out her show into being something completely different, or if they just don't like the negative buzz behind it. I really don't know. But right now, Warner Brothers, CW, all of them, they're in a totally different place now. Because
this is very
HBO
true.
Max getting like the Green Lantern.
Very true.
They got like J.J. Abrams with, you know, the Justice League Dark. On top of Stargirl hitting hard right now.
Yeah.
It's kind of like it questions, like, do we need all these other shows? And it's not necessary.
That's an interesting point. Okay. So you're saying that she's perhaps seen the writing on the wall. Batwoman, the lowest rated CW, as far as I know, the lowest rated CW show in a particular demographic. The bottom of the line here, which is somebody pointed out, one of the reasons it hasn't been canceled is just because all the CW shows are doing bad right now. It just happens to be not worth it to cancel it because there's nothing really to replace it right now. As one person predicted, it has like a 1.5 or even lower than that. That being said, you're saying that she kind of saw the writing on the wall. It's like, yo, we probably won't even last another season, like half the season, and then they're gonna cut us. So I don't want to be part of a failing project. I'd rather just leave on a high note as it is. That's what you're thinking.
Especially with that Superman and Lois show, that now they have already established they've got their own
unnecessary.
You know, Bruce Wayne. Like within this Arrowverse universe, they actually have like an actual actor dedicated to it. So, I think that, I don't know, man. I thought the vacuum filter was gonna lean more towards her and Supergirl and stuff, but they're going a different route with this for different reasons. I don't know what's really happening, but I think it's got to be behind the closed doors. Honestly.
I see. John, your thoughts, because you actually watched the entire season.
I did, and I actually really liked it. And this came at a great shock. It hurt to see. It was disappointing, and a lot of points that Sam kind of brought up is because, one, she busted her ass to get here. She went through so much adversity. She worked so hard to get in this position and this role, and she finally got it. And to me, she knocked it out. I really liked her as Batwoman. Of course, not a perfect show by any means, but it's fun. It had good messages. Surprisingly, it didn't beat in so much of, everyone's worried about the SJW and
right.
The motors and things like that. It really didn't beat that in, thankfully, because that would have got old quick. And to piggyback off of what he said about potentially it being something behind the scenes, I agree, because they say recently it's due to scheduling conflicts. But
by the way, Sam, we can see you, right? Sorry about that, John.
Oh no, I know.
Okay, he's up here picking his teeth, and I'm like, I can see you, nigga. I'm just saying. Yeah, I was just like, because you muted yourself, and I'm like, okay, so I guess he's being conscientious, but then he starts digging in his teeth, and I'm like, wait a second. But before you get into that, I also wanted to say this was actually kind of important. Was it important to you? I'm pretty sure people are most familiar that follow your channel, but as a bisexual man, was the representation important for Ruby Rose? Was that very important to you in that kind of community, as Ruby Rose being gender fluid? I think I'm saying that right. Was that important to have her representing that role as Katie Kane?
I think it was. I think if you're going to have such a, I would say, I guess, iconic or just, a central role as Batwoman, I think it's important that you cast somebody from the community, just because it is a through line throughout the series. It's not hammered down, but it definitely plays its parts and it comes and goes. So I think just with any character based or any creation, if you have a set stone for what this character is based to be, whether it's gender, race, whatever, it's important to have that accurate representation to embody that. And even with this new casting, they're still looking at LGBT, representatives and actresses to kind of fill the role. and it sucks because now all I saw was Ruby. So now trying to see somebody, like, to be completely honest with you, I'm not watching the show after this. I'm like, I'm kind of done. I find over it.
Wow.
Fine.
Wow.
After it.
Dang.
Yeah.
Dang.
That's just me, just because I got so attached to the characters we had and her as Batwoman. Now to see the change just right after the way the season ended and where the story can continue, I'm just like, damn, now she's not going to be there for any of that, because they did a lot of good setup. And to touch back for what may be behind the scenes, I was going to say on Twitter, the day it was announced, maybe a little something personal between them, the cast or studio, whatever it may be, or I could just be spitballing here.
Okay.
The actor who plays Lucas.
Okay. Jungle Brother.
Luke.
Yeah.
Luke.
Looking all jungle in the Elseworlds crossover.
Right. So he was being really interactive with fans, but he was first, putting tweets out saying, thank you guys for, the love and support. We will continue to make this strong no matter what. But the more and more he kept going, the more and more I'm just like, this kind of seems like a lot of hidden.
Like he was bouncing, or like you felt like he was on his way out type of feeling.
No, like talking about Ruby. So whatever happened to why she left, something might have been like personal, because he was the only one that spoke up on it. But the way he was talking and saying, I'm like, okay, this seems kind of cryptic. Just certain words, he'd be like, okay, no matter what happens, guys, like, we still love you. We're keep doing it. I'm just like,
wow.
So that's why I'm like, there has to be more going on with this.
Okay. By the way, thank you, Canada Graphs, for the $3 here. He writes in, I can tell you that there is a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff to that decision. If you guys are not familiar, Canada Graphs is a vlogger. We'll say a vlogger who is always at all the locations of the CW shoots, and is getting a lot of photos, getting a lot of behind-the-scenes information. So if this man says something, best believe it. He broke the story on Lucifer being in the Elseworlds crossover. He got all the first shots of a lot of things going on. So he's saying that there was a lot of behind-the-scenes decisions, stuff to that decision. I don't know it all, but these stories are coming out of... being hard to... And I can't see the rest of that because Streamlabs sucks. Sorry about that. So I don't see. So yeah, I guess there's more to that. But make sure you check out Canada Graphs for that particular thing. Let me test that situation. I just want to test the alert. Yeah, see, it doesn't work. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, as you were saying, go ahead.
So that's pretty much it, man. My thoughts about it. And especially, I like the connection that her and Melissa had. Especially
yes.
That's like,
yes.
Damn.
Yeah.
And I can't spoil anything. You have to watch the season, but just the way everything they set up towards the end of the season, I'm like, okay, they really laid the groundwork. I'm excited to see it, and that Ruby's out. So I'm like, well, fuck. So now what?
Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So we're kind of a two of a. Well, in your case, John, what do you think? Ratings had a lot to play with this, or do you think that is something more behind the scenes instead?
I think it's more behind the scenes.
Okay.
I know the ratings wasn't like, oh my god, but they got picked up for a second season pretty early. So they weren't doing like horribly, and I haven't seen Stargirl. I'm probably not going to.
Me neither.
You guys saying that, Sam saying that's kind of knocking out the park right now. If that's what you're leaning it on, instead of literally basing your now universe around the world's finest, or this version of them now, it's kind of like, okay, you're getting away from the traditional, and I guess now you're really just trying to take a chance on these lesser known characters and trying to build a more universe off them. The Guardian of the Galaxying it. So I'm just like, oh, okay, I guess. Going with the lesser known to make it big to kind of build a universe.
That's an interesting way of putting it, actually. Yeah, I've never thought about that. Yeah, I could see that. I could definitely see that. I guess now that Batwoman. So for you guys, I mean, for John particularly, you don't think anybody. You don't think this could be something like a Spartacus situation where there's going to be a replacement. Somebody is there. There will be, as far as we know, there still will be a Kathy Kane. Batwoman will be around. You don't think it can be a Spartacus situation where they have a replacement and there are? Do you feel like the show can't be improved without Ruby Rose?
That's a good question.
Because I've seen some casting choices that fans are been selecting, and I'm like, I could see that. Like, personally for me, I never really was buying into the fact that with Ruby Rose's particular body frame that she could be throwing thugs left and right. Like for me, when I look at the comic book Batwoman, I see somebody pretty tall and pretty fit there. So I personally, when I saw some of the other casting, I was like, yeah, okay, I could kind of see that a little bit more. I didn't dislike Ruby Rose, but it was always this kind of suspension of disbelief I had to keep on reminding myself when I was watching fight scenes and things like that. So
I got something to comment on that though, because all right, so you can agree with this. When you first got done with the first season of The Flash, right? And like from the pilot all the way to the end, if at the end of the season they were like, yo, we about to go with a second season, but Grant Gustin, he's got a dipset. Bro, like my whole heart will hurt, bro. Like I can't put myself in John's shoes, but if that was the same situation and they were like, yeah, we need somebody a little bit more muscular build because of this circumstances, and like right now we're trying to figure out whether or not Ezra's going to do more, so we might not be able to do as much with the Flash character. If they did that at the end of the day, I would really be hurt.
Okay.
Like, I seriously would.
Fair enough.
And so I can feel, kind of where he's
John, do you feel that's how you feel about Ruby? Like you weren't sure in the beginning, but at the end of the season, her acting was just so phenomenal that she can't be replaced.
Well, I'm not gonna say phenomenal.
Okay.
But
because that's how I felt. That's how I felt about Grant. I was like, at the end of the season 1 of The Flash, I'm like, no, this dude is the fucking Flash. When he's holding Nora's dead body, or dying body, and he's just like, who are you? And he's just like, I'm the Flash. I'm like, oh my god, like see, nobody else could have. Yeah. Okay.
It's kind of similar to that because I for one, since the announcement, I never had an issue of her casting. I was like, I can see that because to me, Ruby herself truly, if you're taking a modern age, she really embodies a Kate Kane, like physically, like all lesbian, standing up, like her whole image, just like physically. I'm like, okay, she reads Kate Kane to me. Like that's cool. Once you see in the Batsuit, I was like, boom, nailed it. Because she has the representation down, she has the literal, appeal down, she has the image, everything. Her acting got better along as the season progressed. And that's why I was like, oh shit, wait a minute, there's a lot more tears. Wait a minute, she's doing this, she's doing that. So she started to commit and she really grew into her own in that role. And just to see it get cut off so quick was like, whoa. Because on her Instagram, the day before, she literally had her entire story. The whole day was nothing but Batwoman behind the scenes, her in the cast, working out and choreography. And like, it was a whole thing to that. And the next day, Ruby Rose quits. So I'm like, oh, well, shit. So to me, yeah, she is Batwoman. So it's hard for me to go forward.
I understand.
That.
I understand.
Yeah.
I understand. Okay. So Canada Graphs, he said the Cliff Notes version of what he was saying. Behind the scenes, lots of people on set complained about working with her. So
I did hear that.
Okay.
Yeah, I did too.
So, I mean, she might be another Ezra Miller, basically. And thank you for the subscription, Venom24697. Great. I get that. I definitely get that. So, I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing. For me, since it's not really a show that I watched, I'm not really connected with it, so I'm actually kind of curious to see who they would recast. And you never know, there might be somebody that's a little more able to sell the role a little bit more. For again, I go back to Spartacus. Is like, yeah, I was sad when the original dude had to leave, but for damn good reason.
Well, didn't he die?
Yeah,
He did.
Yeah, he did. But
Okay.
I don't know if he.
Passed away, yeah.
I don't know if he died. Did he die before they recasted him?
So at the end of the
Yeah.
season of the first season,
He died.
He literally, like he went terminal. Like he was sick.
Fuck.
And before they started working on the second season,
Right.
and they had to stop after a few episodes because like they were like, he is in no good condition.
I
and
see,
then they had
I
to
see.
recast and then reshoot the first 2 episodes, I believe. I love that.
Really?
I was
So they
hurt.
actually, damn, I didn't know.
hurt.
So, because I remember they did the first season, then suddenly they just went to an origin story instead of for Galagus or somebody else because they needed to give. I heard that they were given time to see if this dude gets better, but then while they were shooting this origin story, maybe that's exactly happened the same way, but just a different take on it. And then he passed while they were shooting the prequel story or whatever. But for me, when I look at it, I honestly think they kind of both matched up fairly well, and I really did like the. I'm forgetting his name. He even did the voice to Captain Boomerang in the Justice League animated series.
He did.
Yeah, Liam Hemsworth. No, I want to see Chris. No, it's
No,
not a
it's
Hemsworth.
Liam.
It's a. But anyways, I think he fit in well, and he was actually on the CW as well as the Wizard. Weather Wizard. Yeah. Fuck. And I apologize that I do not remember his name. All right. Well, I think that's it. And for Batwoman, personally, somebody told me I think there's too many CW shows.
Liam McIntyre.
Thank you, McIntyre or something like that.
McIntyre. There you go.
Yeah. I personally think there's a little too many CW shows, and it's not even that the shows are bad.
There's a lot.
It's just that I don't have time to watch all of them, so I just end up casting them to the side. Basically,
Yeah.
I definitely would have checked out. Batwoman if it was like 3 or 4 years ago, but nowadays I'm just like, shit, I ain't got time like that. Shit, man. And then you got the Disney shows, you got the Netflix shows, well, kind of Netflix shows. You got stuff on ABC, you got stuff on you know what? I forgot how late it is for you guys. Let's get into the next story. let's get into the big thing right here. I know both of you guys are rubbing your face all like
No, I don't have a headache. I'm fine. I'm not tired.
all right. Let's
sleep.
get into the big one. This is the one that we all kind of want to talk about, and that is Mr. Zack Snyder, the Snyder Cut. There you go, right there. The Snyder Cut, as announced a few days ago, HBO Max will be debuting it sometime next year, either episodically or as a 4-hour cut or something like that. The Snyder Cut is real, kind of, somewhat. Some kind of cut is out there, not viewable for most people, but they're going to be dumping in about estimated $20 to $30 million to finish Zack Snyder's cut, Zack Snyder's vision, doing the VFX, doing all of this, getting the ADR, which is additional audio, to finish up the original score from Junkie XL, from what I've been told, and essentially the vision that Zack Snyder, had the studios not interfered, had he not removed himself from the project, whichever version you heard, had he not left the project, and had they not chopped it up and all that, this will be the vision of the Justice League, that the first movie that Zack Snyder had envisioned. Sam, I'm gonna go with you first because I saw your reaction. You were there during the viral
I did too.
stream that Zack Snyder did with his arch nemesis Henry Cavill, according to Twitter. Shocked everybody that they got together. No, they've always been cool with each other. They got together, and Zack Snyder essentially revealed that picture behind you, of the black and white. He loves black and white, doesn't he? Zack Snyder's Justice League, debuting on HBO Max. I saw your reaction. Your thoughts?
Yeah, so I've been trailing this story honestly probably since 2016. I actually did a whole documentary on it. I'm not gonna go into it here. From that day, well, actually before that day happened, like it was words and whispers from different people that I know. Like, look, something has changed. We got information that back in February, he took the assembly cut or whatever cut you want to say
Mm-hmm.
to the execs that are now in present with Warner Media / AT&T,
Yes.
just to kind of position it. And he kind of alluded to a little bit of it on Vero or whatnot.
Right.
And so I was kind of like, oh, that's interesting. Like, why are they bringing this up now? Like, this happened back in February. Like, you got nothing else to report, But then it kind of got circulated like, no, like, this thing might actually happen.
Right.
And so the people that were saying this to me, I was like, I believe them wholeheartedly. Like, it's not even a thing. I was like, well, all right, well, maybe next year, maybe 5 years down the road. Like, I had told Jarrell, and I'm surprised he's not on this, but I was like, dude, this thing might take 10 years before it come out. I would still watch it just because, I'm down with it. I'm down to see what creative vision that he wanted to explore with this in whatever way it is. But the day that, like, I was like, man, something seems really weird. When they brought Henry Cavill up there, I was kind of like, why did they bring this man up there? And why?
Was he not there for the whole viewing?
No.
Okay, so
he came in at the end of
the viewing.
At the end of it, he was like, yeah, there's somebody else coming up. And they had said it was like
surprise,
by
motherfucker.
Zoom. And I was like, okay, well, then they kind of threw me off because like they started bringing like fans in to answer questions. I was like, man, nothing's gonna come from this. When this man Henry Cavill was like, I think you should show it, and I was like, wait, what? And he was like, you want me to show the movie? I was like, no, I think you should show it. And then like Deborah was like, yeah, you should show him something. And he was like, he turned it, bro. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I lost it. I made so much noise. I woke up my wife, and like I was ranting. But I think
He's like, I don't have a movie.
For me, honestly, like my real feelings about it is that I'm happy for them that he's gonna be able to get, the film that he wanted to be made, like shown. But technically, this is not. Anybody that's listening to this is not the official vision that he wanted at all.
Okay, I was gonna say
that. This is a recycled, retooled, thing that he was like, all right, in 2016/2015, like, okay, I will settle to do this because what I'm envisioning is too much. I can't be the pioneer Kevin Feige for all of this, but at least I can do this. And so just for you guys to know, like, this is not completely what his envisionment is. And on top of that,
wait, hold on a second. Wait. So
it's different.
So you're saying this particular Justice League is not going to end on a cliffhanger then?
So I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that he had planned for like this 5-movie arc that bled into all these other things. That with this, before he left, he kind of graded that down to a certain point where it's like, okay, this can be like maybe 2 Justice League movies and we can kind of close out on this versus building to a whole different universe. Like, this is not what this is going to be. At most, they've already finished the score. The score is already done with Chucky XL. They're going to be going and adding certain scenes with like Lennox Lewis because he was going to be
Manhunter.
The Manhunter, Martian Manhunter. And then they have a lot of background VFX that, they're going to have to finish.
Right.
But the principal photography has been done since 2016.
Right.
Like, there's not any, they're just going to be adding certain stuff to make it organically flow with what people wanted. A lot of people on Vero, they were asking him like, bruh, I hate this design of Steppenwolf. Can you go with the original version of Steppenwolf that you wanted? And he told him basically yes. And so that's going to be another part of the extra VFX work that they're going to have to do. But either way, this version is going to be a very much so more condensed than what, even though it's like 4 hours, even though they might split it up into different parts episodically, this is not the initial what he necessarily wanted, but he was comfortable with the give out, and that he was like, okay, before I leave, this should be able to be finished. But what happened was, if you don't know the background, that Warner Brothers was like, yo, people don't trust this man since BVS.
Thank you for the $5, by the way, Andros. I'll get to that question in a little bit. Yeah, go ahead. Well, okay, so to me, as far as I know, what I've known is the fact that Zack Snyder initially wanted, he got it down to 3 movies. So we, based on what Kevin Smith was saying, what we basically saw in Justice League, if I remember, what we basically, and I think what you're talking about with the 5-part situation includes Man of Steel and BVS, like that. Those are the extra 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As far as I know. What you might be getting this into, because it's the whole thing about Kal-El. That's the main thing. Maybe. The Justice League one is essentially what we saw with a little bit of changes, a little more dramatic, but it cameos Darkseid and ends on a conclusion. We've seen shots of that where the entire group is looking up at either Darkseid or something, and it ends on a cameo like that. Then Justice League 2 is where they go to fight Darkseid on Apocalypse, and they lose terribly, badly, and then you get evil Superman or some shit like that. Maybe. And then Justice League 3 is the redemption arc, and also where it goes into the nightmare scene that we saw in BVS, where Lois is the key and all that other situation, where it has injustice tones and Lois gets killed by Darkseid and some other stuff. So that's what the basic understanding of what I had. But essentially, this Justice League movie, this version of Zack Snyder's cut, I don't know if he's gonna retool that ending, but I'm assuming it all ends on a cliffhanger. So
here's the. Sorry.
Okay, go ahead. No, I was just gonna say that in the very beginning of the movie, presumably, I don't know all this factually. I'm just going off of like stuff I've read from Vero, and then from what Zach has said in between different moments. That even the beginning, you know how like Zach in the beginning, he makes like his openings very epic. This was supposed to be a flashback sequence, which instead in the movie was retooled to like show like, okay, Steppenwolf comes to Earth, and it's very short. But the beginning of this was supposed to be a very younger Darkseid, a very different stage where literally Earth was about to get wiped out, and everybody that was the original heroes during that time made their stand. And so the beginning of the movie was even completely different. And from when I talked to Mark McClure, I think back, what was it, maybe 2018 of New York Comic Con, I can't remember. I asked him legit, I was like, Mark, like in the original trailer of the Justice League, I was like, you look as though like you're a police officer, but they have you as a security guard. And he said to me, he said, I'm gonna be very honest with you, if you want to, you can record this. He said, I was in a completely different role. And everything that transpired with the return of Superman came at the beginning of the movie, not in the second act, not towards the third act. It was in the beginning of the movie. And I was like, that doesn't even make sense from how the movie that we saw was even cut. And so he said that Cyborg was involved, Superman was involved, but I can't say that much because at a certain point, the execs came in, they cut me out of the role. Jeff Johns saved me, and he brought me back in as a security guard to give me a role or semblance of a role. But he said that honestly, I would like to see what they were going to do, because he said that if you saw the scene, you like it's completely more grand than what they gave in the theatrical. And so, I mean, from my perception, they say it's like legit a 4-hour movie. I really do think there is at least 40 to 50 minutes worth of stuff that we have no idea what it means, because even when they were talking about the end, and this going back to your question, the end was supposed to be, if I'm right, that basically Darkseid does make his show. Right. And something happens to the point of like everything explodes around them to the point that the Flash has to go back in time in this same movie. What? So, and stop what's actually happening. Yeah, it sounds a little crazy. Exactly. But this is supposed to be, but not in a good way. But okay. It's supposed to be retooled to back to the moment with BVS. This is not the same exact moment. In the future, that version of BVS is that Cyborg and Batman go and take Flash, and I think on the cosmic treadmill to go and I remember that. Yeah, but yeah, to stop him from happening. But you know, he hit the wrong mark. And so
All right.
I think that all was set up to show, like, okay, Flash does have the capability of going back in time, but we didn't see it. Not just that, like, we didn't even see the Ezra Miller moment where he was kind of like, discovering his powers. There was supposed to be like a moment to be able to show that as well. So it's hard to gauge. Like, I can't confirm or deny anything.
Okay, but to summarize though, you are excited. You were excited, and you're happy for you're happy that it's being released. Okay, The Knight, your thoughts, because we never got to you. So
it's all right. So for one, before I get into my thoughts, this does play into a lot of, I don't want to say confusion, because there's a lot of angles coming from this, and especially a lot from Zack Snyder. So so a lot of people get confused why it's called a Snyder Cut, because of the fact that they're saying like it's not a finished thing, so there's no real cut to it yet. And even when his interview and announcement, he's saying like it's going to be an entirely new thing
compared to the theatrical release.
Compared to the theatrical,
which he's never seen.
He's seen about like 1/4 of what or fourth of what he's seen or whatever, or what he's actually done. But he says it's going to be a completely new thing on top of adding on some things that he previously had envisioned as well. So it's supposedly going to be about a good 4-hour or into a 6-part cut up when released. But generally, overall, I'm not going to say I'm excited, but I'm intrigued.
I think that's a fair point. Yeah, I think that's fair.
Right. I'm excited for more Ben Affleck, absolutely. But for the cut itself, it's like, okay, right, exactly. Shake that shirt, brother. Batflick all day. But
that's cute.
So
go ahead, keep going.
But I'm intrigued to see his vision come to light, whether it's a mix of old, some of new, a mixture or whatever it is. I'm intrigued to see it. Because I'm happy with everything that just happened, how he got, kind of shafted, the stuff with his daughter, had to push things to a side, let go, all of that. I'm happy that now he gets a chance to fully envision what he wants to do, whether add-ons or not. I'm really happy about that. I'm glad it's on streaming and it's not re-released in the theater. I didn't think that was necessary. I think this is a good way to go about it.
Thank you for the $10, Andros the Warrior. Right now is not the time for those questions, though, but I definitely appreciate it. Thank you for the $10. All right, keep on going.
So yeah, man, I'm in a very good spot with this, and I'm very
sounds like a good idea, though.
I'm intrigued to see what unfolds. I want to know how much. There's a lot of ADR. When there's going to be reshoots. Are we going to get some actors back? There's a lot of mumblings and people talking about, Ben coming back and Ezra and all these. I'm like, sure, when I see it, we'll see it, but we'll never know what happens. And AT&T's like, never say never.
Right.
AT&T's going hard with this.
No, they are trolling, bro. They are trolling Twitter right now. It's
with
bad.
this.
I thought about that too.
Anything.
So here's another question: is would this have happened? Because for about 2 or 3 years, WB was fucking mute on this entire situation. WB, and at this point still, WB doesn't really acknowledge any sort of presence of Zack Snyder. Like, they legit removed him from almost everything. Like, I went on a WB tour last year or the year before in Hollywood, and when they do the montages of all the movies, they show Christopher Nolan's work, they show Donner's work. They never, like, they show the 300 and that thing with the owl thing that he did, but they do not include anything connected to the superhero universe. They show Wonder Woman, though.
I don't think that's right.
But I understand. In some point, I understand why they were doing that. But do you think, without the inclusion of AT&T trying to push, making HBO Max, trying to make it the next Netflix, every company, every movie studio is entering the streaming world. Do you think without the inclusion of HBO Max, we would have the Snyder Cut right now?
Nope.
Yeah. I think it's a perfect storm situation, because right now we are in a pandemic and no production is even active right now. There's not, there's no like TV series.
That's a good point.
Movies. And it's kind of like, bro, like we don't got no content to push. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, it worked on the behalf of those people that really were pushing behind Zack Snyder and of course Zack and Deborah. But if we were not in a pandemic, if the situation was like, okay, the streaming game is like completely different than it is, even 4 months ago, I don't think it would have happened as soon. I think eventually they would have released it digitally in some way, shape, or form, in some capacity, just because there's money to be made on the table. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
I don't know if you guys look at the Harley Quinn show, but the moment when I looked at that episode, bro, and her, they showed the two guys that were the fans of, like, one guy was a fan of the Snyder Cut.
I didn't know Joker being a cuck was a superpower. Like,
bro, I was like,
Last
this
Jedi
is
is
the
not
first
canon.
time that Warner Brothers acknowledgement of it, and I was kind of like, a lot of people were like really throwing shade, but I was like, y'all don't realize they're utilizing this. Like, they would never even talk about it because in their perception, BVS and Justice League were equivocal failures.
Oh yeah,
and it looked and tarnished the image of Superman and Batman.
Absolutely.
And I'm enough to admit to that. Regardless if I like certain things about, BVS, the Ultimate Cut, regardless if I love Man of Steel, I can admit that
Batman?
there was
oh hell yeah,
perception of a lot of people, because
hell
a
yeah,
lot of people were like, Batman doesn't kill, Batman is this, Batfleck is like, bro, like,
dude,
man,
we've had this conversation for the last couple of years already. Like trust me.
I don't agree with it. I don't think that it was merited in any way, shape, or form. Right. Technically, if you look at, Apocalypse War, and what they did in that, I was like, bro, like, Zack Snyder would love what.
Right.
Like, this is a dream of Zack Snyder. But I'm saying that in that time, in that moment, it was just a terrible perfect storm that messed things up to now, like, they're all being returned back, because a lot of people didn't like Man of Steel because their perception of, like, this is not my Superman, and they're saying Ben Affleck is not my Batman. And I don't know what Zack Snyder's doing, but he's throwing a lot at me. But I think personally with BVS, in all honesty, I think I publicly said this, that BVS was trying to be the sacrificial lamb to kickstart this whole universe, instead of making standalones, take their time with it, and allow things to progressively go. And I think the execs probably put a lot of pressure on Zack to, like, yo, you need to go and do this. You need to put this out. We need to add these extra scenes with these Justice Leaguers in there too. Because Zack had even said he only wanted a Man of Steel 2.
Exactly. So yeah, for the record, a lot of people think I hate Zack Snyder, but I've always said that he was forced to put Batman. He was forced to make BVS. He just wanted to do Man of Steel 2. But then the studio was like, no, I need you to fucking make Avengers, man. Like,
we need to play catch up.
Yeah,
Marvel's kicking our ass.
Yep. And I've in terms of Man of Steel, I always loved the first half of Man of Steel, but I felt like some wild shit happened the second half, and I'm like, wait, what happened to this beautiful storytelling? That was a fucking WWE fight for 40 minutes and shit. I'm like, yo,
that's my favorite part.
That's so. I was
exactly.
like, yo. But okay. Anyways, we're getting a little off track here. So all right. So it's happening. You guys are excited about it. Well, John, you're curious about it. I personally, I'm curious about it, but the only reason I'm excited about the release of the Snyder Cut is so we will never fucking ever talk about the release of the Snyder Cut ever again.
The fucking Snyder cult.
Fuck.
Yes.
Like,
we can shut up now.
Oh my god. Like, it's been bad. Like, I honestly, I won't say I have PTSD, but like just this week of it being announced, not all, and again, I have to clarify this, but not all fans of Zack Snyder are Snyder cultists. But the ones that get online and like, I literally made a video the other day answering a question and defending Zack Snyder fans that have done charitable good, and that shit still got half disliked just because none of them took the time to actually watch the video. That kind of shows to me, and Jody will attest to this. Jody's Corner, I mean, that shows the attestment. That shows the kind of example of the types of people we're talking about in terms of online presence, the people that don't actually take the time to sit down and have a conversation. If you feel that you're being attacked, and start to harass people online and start to bully people online, if you feel like you're personally attacked because of a title that I made about harassment and bullying, then maybe that's probably maybe that says something about your particular behavior. Maybe I just fucking put a mirror up on you like that. I don't mind which way or whatever.
Horrible.
Oh, boo-hoo-hoo, half the people dislike my video. But to me, that exactly proves the point of some of these unreasonable type of people that have been campaigning for the Snyder Cut. And I think a lot of them, they're Snyder fans before they're DC fans. And I think that was the biggest problem with the entire campaign. Again, that's not all of them, but I would say that's a good amount of them online in terms of, look, if somebody says, oh, yeah, I wasn't really feeling that movie. Well, fuck you, drink bleach and die. Release the Snyder Cut. Come on now.
Right, pretty much. I'm happy for the Snyder fans, the Snyder Cut fans, but the cultists can fuck cheese. I don't care what. They're horrible, bro, and it's so toxic. It's so sickening, and it's like you're literally taking something that, regardless of what you feel about the film, like that. Superhero films unite people. They bring people together. There's common discussion. There's common interest, and you take that to be a dickhead. Because people may agree that the cut exists, people don't agree that the cut exists. So what? It's their business. So you're going on a whole tyrant, threatening people, their family, their this and that, every little chance you get because you're unhappy about it.
They even went after Henry Cavill. That's the fucking craziest shit, man. They went after him. They went after his fucking agent. They went after Netflix to tell people not to watch the fucking Witcher. I'm like, like
it was bad, and that was
people
all
have no
because
lives.
He didn't during I forget what time frame it was, but when all the different casts were like saying,
I remember that was what started
only
it.
Because he didn't, acknowledge it, and to me, this is my honest opinion.
But neither did Ezra Miller, if I remember. Yeah.
So Ezra said something along with Ray Fisher, but like either way, to me. Henry Cavill wasn't in the position to even go there because, in my opinion, right now he's trying to save face to be Superman.
Exactly.
Right.
He doesn't have,
Zack Snyder ain't gonna save. Zack Snyder ain't getting him keeping that Superman job for him. And thank you for the donation, by the way. I believe Daniel. Thank you, by the way. Yes.
Yeah, like if he went in openly was like, like Zack's vision was better. And undermined the hand that was feeding to him, that would put him in a terrible, that's not a good business practice. His agent was a good agent for telling him not to do anything. Like, keep your comment to a minimum. But there was an interview that he had with Kevin McCarthy where he kind of was like, bro, look, I don't know if a cut exists or not, but I love artistic expression. I love to have somebody that I love, output this envisionment. But he said, I really just want to have this Superman character move forward. I want to see what more stories Superman can tell.
I agree.
And that was a perfect way to do it.
I agree.
And I was like, when people started bad-mouthing him and hitting him, I was like, bro, you're not showing love to the person that you're claiming that you really love, which is Zack. Right. Like, Zack wouldn't tell you to do that. He didn't. Like, he wouldn't tell you to be like, yo, like, go and bash my friend. Like, nah, bro, you missing the point. And I really personally hate, when that happens, like whether it's the Star Wars universe, whether it's the Marvel universe, whether it's the DC universe, when people start to really try to troll and bully, thinking they know everything. And I was talking to Akasa before we got into this, that I didn't like the last Godzilla movie, right? I left a review. I said, this is my piece about it. It was a good try. It was a great, fight towards the end, but it wasn't my cup of tea. And people were trolling me, bro. Like, people were like, yo, like, you dumb. Like, how can you say this? This is the best. This. I was like, bro, you know what? I'm not going to feed the animal.
You know what's crazy? I got the exact opposite. I love the Godzilla movie, and people were just like...
Yeah, I did too.
But people were just like, what? No, that movie was garbage. That was dumb. It was all about the...
Really?
They were like, it was all about the humans. What the fuck are you talking about? You don't know this shit. I'm like, what? Like, so it all depends, and what can I say? I talk about how I don't really like the Flash anymore. People on my channel tend to agree. I go to somebody else's channel, I go to Blind Wave's channel or something like that. People will be like, man, Akazan, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. The Flash is great, man. Puts on the fucking tin hat, or Jay Garrett.
And I think the only person that was safe from not humiliation, but like trolling and shit like that is Jason Momoa, because I think he was the biggest advocate for it.
Nope. I even take that. Nope, because maybe not him particularly, but Aquaman. Like, that's what really annoyed me the most, is that every release post Justice League got shitted on, and people like Aquaman, Shazam, Birds of Prey, but particularly Shazam. People were talking shit about that, and I remember when, like, I took a photo of being at the I went to go see Shazam, and I took a photo, and I just happened to show that there were like 10 people here to watch the movie, and one of the Snyder cultists, again, not all Snyder fans, but one of that group, they were like, well, maybe if they didn't get rid of Zack Snyder and blah blah blah, you wouldn't be having this problem. DC released the Snyder Cut. I'm like, yo, that's not the point I was trying to make. Like, I'm like, do you guys even know who I am? Like, I'd be the last person I'd be the last person you should be using this as a reference for and shit.
Yeah. I get that, but I meant, like, personally, like, Jason Momoa was like, he wasn't the only one that, like,
yeah, no, I agree, yeah, with that.
Yeah, like, came under, and it's like, he's like, oh, we've seen it, it's awesome. So now, and that also made me think, like, well, what have you seen? There's nothing like, so, like, you must have seen, like, little chop ups that he had, and then Zack Snyder, like, describe the rest of, okay, so here's what we're going to do here. I know that's what he did with the execs to pitch all this, because it wasn't full. So it's like, you get in the image and the description of it, like, oh, it's awesome, it's this and that. What did you really see? So everything was like more momentum and playing. And to back off your original question, I don't think personally, if AT&T didn't step in, that we would get this, because WB was so far removed, and like you said, and many people know they're so far removed.
Yeah.
I don't think they would have touched it. And plus, on top of it, with the whole Snyder Cut and all this movement going on, and how, much hate kind of, like, even people rose over $15,000. The hate and the trolls even ended up trumping that. So it's like, it got to a point where it's like, bro, we're just tired of this shit now. We're just done with it. So I don't think if AT&T jumped into it, because AT&T, especially when Justice League first came out, they were big partners with it and everything. I don't think if they jump in, we don't get it. And it's a good marketing to push this, because what
is it though?
HBO Max, for HBO.
I got a comment on that.
Like a week.
Is it though? Do you guys think? Do you think it's so? Justice League, the movie costs over $200-something million to make already. Then after the reshoots, I believe that was what, 50, 70 million. Now they're putting an additional
extra 70,
extra 70 fucking million dollars to put into the first version of this Justice League movie. Now they're about to dump in another 20 to 30 million to release the Snyder Cut on a digital platform. Is it worth the price here?
So that's what I was going back to. That right now, what are they going to dump money into? Nothing. There's nothing to dump, $20 to $30 million into technically as a big budget film. Like, everything's already either in pre-production, or it's kind of like in the middle ground. So it's kind of like, we can take $20 million and do that. The perfect storm is here to do it. But to comment on what John has said, that there was so much malicious, like, stuff on Twitter, bro. Like, I can understand why a lot of actors quit, social media, because every single thing that was coming out from Warner Brothers or from different people that were saying stuff, it was like hit with like a release the Snyder Cut. And that's why I was removed from it.
Ridiculous.
I don't know if you could tell. I like left my opinions as they were and kept them to myself, did my documentary and left it out. But I think that what AT&T did was so smart, because they were like, all right, bet, you know what? We doing this, but we're going to go on that same social media and, like, acknowledge or make them feel as though they're being acknowledged, and we're going to allow this to cycle through. So instead, now it's like, if you look on every single social media, AT&T or HBO Max, whether it's DC Universe, whatever it is, DC Entertainment, they all have something about this. So that it's kind of like they're appeasing these people that were very malicious. You know what I'm saying? And so,
but now, playing the long game,
this is a good and bad thing, man.
No, but playing the long game here, do you think that's a wise decision? Because what's going to happen if AT&T goes it like so first what's going to happen is they're going to release the Snyder Cut, right? But then let's just say that those same people start campaigning for rehire Zack Snyder. So there's another 2-3 years of that, but you don't see AT&T you don't see AT&T or Warner Brothers cuz honestly speaking, I don't think Warner Brothers ever wanted to release the Snyder Cut. Warner Brothers never wanted to acknowledge it. Warner Brothers wanted to focus on their billion-dollar movies that they're making right now through Aquaman, hopefully Wonder Woman, what am I thinking? Joker, the upcoming Batman. They were trying to focus on a whole nother direction and not look back into the past. But what happens in the future if Zack Snyder's not the person to direct Man of Steel #2 and things like that? I think they're playing a dangerous, very Trump-ish, not to bring politics into this, but very Trump-ish, pandering to a particular malicious group, not all of them, but a good amount of them online, pandering to a particular group, and buttering them up this particular way, and then when you start going in a different direction, see what happens.
So to that comment, I think that the reason why they did it the way they did it is really a business strategy move. When they had even The View, you can see it here. When it says only on HBO Max, regardless, say hypothetically speaking, this actually does well. Like say this is actually a good version, right? They could technically go and hire people to continue whatever version on the streaming platform, right? To do whatever they want to on the streaming platform to allow and appease these people that, all right, bet you got people that are thirsty for this. Okay, well, we'll see how this maneuvers, how this goes. But then they can still be able to maintain their central, whatever they're trying to evolve for this DCU. Because I think, honestly, the DCU at this point is going into this soft reboot anyway. I think that by the time we get to Wonder Woman 84 or The Flash or whatever, they're going to change the way the dynamics are going. Because even like Robert Pattinson's movie is supposed to be a trilogy, but it's supposed to be contained. It doesn't have any relevance with the DCU. So what I'm saying is that
I caught that asshole. Go ahead. Oh shit! Yeah. Me and Knight, we gonna have to have a whole nother talk about that later. But okay, go ahead, Sam.
But I think with the HBO Max, there's room to allow for whatever kind of. You just need content. You need to be able to plug original content.
Okay.
They have the whole entire DC entertainment, and I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying that they're not making a interesting pool, quote unquote, what you said. But I think that on HBO Max, if they want to continue this in whatever way they can, all right, yo, bet, like, can you come in as the Blue Beetle for this, whatever, or get this person to direct this? Yeah, sure. Because right now they got J.J. Abrams doing the freaking Justice League Dark, bro. Like, there's so many ways that they can kind of maneuver this. Like, okay, he's got his own thing.
Okay.
Zach's got, whatever he's trying to pull. So I'm thinking that they're trying to push those people that are pushing this negative spin to the streaming platform to appease them, so they can be at a position whatever they really want to do. That's what I'm basically ultimately.
And I want to back off that because you said a lot of interesting things too, Akasan. I kind of want to jump on both really quick, but to touch on that, another reason why this is a great business strategy and why they did this, and you have to think about it also. Not only because it's appeasing to the fans and it helps with AT&T, it builds HBO Max. If you really think about it and you see the numbers as of late, streaming services outside of like Hulu, Netflix, and all that are not doing good, especially new ones coming out the gate. Quibi just dropped.
What the fuck is Quibi? What the fuck is that shit?
Oh.
I swear to God, Knight, if you told me you were using Quibi, I swear to God, I thought that would be some sort of gay sex app or something like that. I'm just saying. Oh shit, is that the new Grindr? Quibi?
Oh, motherfucker, it sounds like it though.
That's what I'm saying. Ooh, Quibi me, baby. Go ahead. What the fuck is Quibi?
So it's a new streaming service.
You know what? I don't even care. Let's move on. Go ahead.
So basically, to sum it up, it's a streaming service where they have pump out content in 10-minute episodes, in 10-minute segments. Anyway, it completely underperformed, so it's not doing good. So HBO Max and everybody else sees the numbers of that. Okay, this is another new streaming platform. It's not doing what people aren't, paying as much attention, aren't being truly engaged. What can we do to have that leg up? Oh, perfect. HBO, we have this thing with y'all, Justice League, gotta speak to the fans. This HBO Max drops in a week. They dropped the news a week before HBO Max jumps out to give people something to look for to help boost that
next year
that release to help get boost the numbers for it.
Fair enough.
So I'm like, that's another strategy for that.
So what you're saying, what you guys are basically saying is that the Zack Snyder cut is initially the Captain and the Falcon or whatever, WandaVision, all the Marvel titles to Disney Plus. Incentives. That shit ain't out yet, but you gonna wait for it. Yeah, I got you. I got you.
Exactly. And it is a dangerous game, like you said, man, because they're opening the door to do a lot. Because you had all this toxicity coming in, and now you're giving them what they want.
Yep.
Now look what's going to happen.
Yep.
This is going to only start a whole avalanche of shit going forward.
All right. I wanna move on to one more thing for our topic and ourselves, and then we're gonna see about getting Chainsaw in here in a bit if he wants to be on.
Hey, Chainsaw.
Yeah, if Chainsaw, if you want to be part of this. In fact, what's the?
I tried to hit up Jody, but
it's all good. It's all good. Nah, damn, Jody be a whole nother conversation of just about we should probably make that a 2-part thing about the results of releasing the Snyder Cut, because that's definitely something I want to talk to Jody. My man got he got ripped apart on Twitter. That shit was wild, son. I was like, damn, he's so lucky. I make my video, nobody even clips me because they can't use anything to trash me because I'm fucking speaking the truth. But they just got mad about the fucking title. I'm like, damn, you motherfuckers got mad about a title and a cover. It didn't actually watch the video. Chainsaw, DM me real quick, and then I'll get you in here real quick. You just want to call in? Okay, sounds good then. Let's move on to the last thing of the topic here, which is let's make this a little brief here. The Suicide Squad director's cut released the Ayer Cut. Personally, I'm down with it but I'm down with it. But I actually liked the original. I liked what we got in the Suicide. I thought the best thing I saw was too many people were trying to make it seem like the fucking Suicide Squad was supposed to be a masterpiece. It's the fucking Suicide Squad. I liked what we got, and I wasn't trying to make this a goddamn masterpiece and shit. And I enjoyed what we got. It could have been better, yeah, but I wasn't expecting much from the beginning. As I've said years before, Suicide Squad was the Guardians of the Galaxy for me. I went in with zero expectation. I didn't even expect for this movie to be made. It's not something that I ever wanted, but I'm glad we had something, and I enjoyed it. However, that being said, I am kind of curious to see what would have happened, but I don't want that to I don't want the Ayer Cut to disrupt the future of the DC world right now. I especially don't want the Snyder Cut to affect the direction of the DC movies that we have right now, because I like where we're going now. I like the fact that there's a small minority that doesn't like these newer movies, but I like the fact that Joker made over $1 billion. I like the fact that people can be excited about an Aquaman movie. Birds of Prey didn't do as well as it should have, but it was still. I like the fact that we're going a different direction of not necessarily positive, but just that we can leave the theater and not fucking fight to the death about whether or not a movie was good or not. It's just oh, okay, you didn't like it, cool, no problem, move on to the next thing. Not, oh, you didn't like it, well, fuck you, drink bleach and die, release a Snyder Cut. So
yeah,
anyways, your thoughts on the Ayer Cut? Do you want to see that shit?
I do, because I love the original Suicide Squad, so it makes me more excited for this. I'm like, oh, cool, what else? What's David Ayer just unleashed. What's he like
Right.
for Suicide Squad? Because when he's allowed to do what he wants, he's a great filmmaker. I love David Ayer, but of course, studio involvement. So I truly want to see his vision because even that crossed into a lot. Because I even believe Steppenwolf was supposed to pop up.
It was.
Too.
It's connected.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's like I completely want to see his full vision untouched and rock out. Absolutely.
Okay. Sam.
Absolutely.
Man, I hated this movie. I'm just joking.
So you're doing just like the Snyder cultists? You bought? Man, I hated this movie. That's why I went out and I bought that DVD. And when they released the Ayer Cut, I'm gonna make a video and hit it with my fucking hammer because that'll show you, Warner Brothers. Yeah. Okay.
Nah, so for me, I actually really dug Suicide Squad. Matter of fact, to be honest with you guys.
Excuse me, Academy Award-winning Suicide Squad. Sorry, I forgot about that.
We can't forget that.
I flaunt that all the time. The first 2 acts of Suicide Squad, I really loved, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, I love actually the extended cut of this, like the different scenes.
Setup.
Like, I love the Harley Quinn scenes with, Jared Leto. Like, I loved it. To me, the only part that was really the knockoff for me was everything with the Enchantress on the back 3rd act. Now, her leading up to that,
Right.
I was kind of like really engaged and intrigued, but I was kind of like, what is this moment right now, But to see what David Ayer, really had underneath his belt, I really am curious, man. I would love for this to go on HBO Max. And again, I agree with you guys. I don't think that this should interfere with what they're trying to do for their future movie incarnations and their standalone platforms. I think that what they're doing is working. And it's not so much to me that it's like, all right, like now everybody is okay with DC. Like, no, like the haters are still out there. People are still sniping whatever comes out. But it's kind of like we can be happy that, you know what, we really enjoyed it. And it's not like this in-between moment. But I think that if, David Ayer's version does go to HBO Max, I think that that's good. I think that he deserves it because when it came out, it was like everybody was asking, like, David, like, aren't you missing some scenes with Jared Leto? Like, didn't you say this or that? And he kind of he sacrificed himself. He said, look, this is the movie that I stood by. This is the movie I'm putting out. And I never forgot that. I was like, David, like, I know you got more, but he stood behind Warner Brothers. Like, he didn't,
just playing good.
Badmouth them. He did go and make Bright and went to go to Netflix, and now I think he's doing like Tax Collector or whatever, but he didn't like pull tilt. And neither did Zach technically. Like, Zach didn't undermine Warner Brothers because they're smart businessmen. Like, they know, how to do this game. So I think for both men, to me, ultimately, I think that's why I was like, you know what, I can get behind both of these cuts going to HBO Max. And I'm hoping that we get that. I really am. Like, AT&T is crazy, though, for what they're doing on Twitter.
I think we can all agree the person who benefits the most of this, who's going to be the most happy for the Ayer Cut coming out, is Jared Leto. So that means he gets more to do, and he can now be the villain. And he can get the Joker back.
This is true. This is true.
He was hurt when Joaquin was announced. He was like, "Oh, that was supposed to be me."
He called his agent up and was like, "No, don't do it.
I want this movie stopped." I'm like, "Bruh."
All right, so, let's take some calls here. I hope this works. Actually, I hope you guys.
Bring him in.
I hope you guys can actually
bring them out.
Hear it when the ring comes in. Saying, can you go ahead and plug that number for them if you remember it? Let's see if we can get everybody in here. I hope it works, and I hope you guys can actually hear it when it goes through. Let me make sure you guys are set up as well with computer audio. This is going to be interesting. First time I've done it through the computer. Yeah, let's hope it works.
Oh, shit. This is dope.
What's up?
I'm in the chat. I was like looking at how this is about to work.
Oh, okay.
I'm low-key excited.
Yeah, let's see. Well, we'll see. It's late at night, though. Here we go. Watch it be Zack Snyder right now. Hey, guys. You guys are okay. You guys can hear it ringing, right? All right. Comics Plus. Oh shit! Wait. Hold on, I gotta figure this one out. Hold on a second. I gotta turn the ringer off and then but I think somebody's on the phone right now. Oh, hello?
I'm already here.
Hey, what's
I'm already
going
here.
on?
What's up?
Who's this?
What's up? Chainsaw, what's up?
Chainsaw, first guy through. What up, brother?
Hey, it's Chainsaw.
I don't mess around.
There
Waiting.
you go. He was like a chainsaw. How you doing over there?
I'm good, man. It's 2 a.m. I should be asleep right now. I don't know why I'm awake.
About that, time difference and all. Yeah.
Nah, it's all good. It's all good.
All right. So, anything you wanted to say?
Well, I mean, the whole Snyder Cut, it feels like we're living in an alternate reality because we thought this would never happen. And all of a sudden, it's like real after hearing for years, oh, it's never going to happen.
Right.
And now it's a thing. And so now the question is, okay, so is it going to be a 4-hour film or the 6 miniseries where cliffhangers he was talking about in his interviews acted when the announcement came? I hope it's just a 4-hour movie. I don't want these parts because it's going to feel like it's not a movie. Like he filmed it for a film like a director's cut situation.
Right.
I mean, if you look at the Ultimate Edition of BVS, that was meant, that's what he wanted to release in theaters, and Warner Brothers is like, no, they cut out 30 minutes and they switched stuff around. I don't think he's going to go that route of splitting it up. It's going to be a almost 4-hour film, I think.
Right. So which version would you like to see the most? Would you like it episodic or would you like a 4-hour cut?
The 4-hour cut. For sure.
Why?
I mean,
why is that? Personally, for me, I want episodic. But for you, why is that for the 4-hour cut?
I just feel like we're going to see his true vision. And the thing is, we have heard all these rumblings of what he wanted to do with a Justice League 2 and 3. And then, of course, that got dwindled down to 2 when they saw the response of BVS. And they were like, It's like, but it's kind of your fault, Warner Brothers. You butchered his film. Like, the Ultimate Cut fixed a lot of issues people had with the theatrical cut. So that then everything happened, of course. He got off the project. And then now it's just, this is apparently going to be it. Like, once this is out, there's no continuation of what he had planned. So, I feel like just give it to us all at once and let us experience partially what he wanted to tell.
Right.
Because if you look at the marketing after he got out, they were showing full completed CG scenes that are not in the film, but they're still using footage that he had completed, and they were showing it in the marketing.
Right.
And it's like, so there's definitely a lot of it's done. It's just, I guess, going back to the original design of Steppenwolf, and then of course adding in Darkseid and all that, which Ray Porter, who is now confirmed as he had to officially say he's Darkseid. He's been doing a bunch of live streams and stuff the past day or so, talking about it and saying he felt really bummed out he got axed. So he's glad he's back.
Let's not forget the original Iris West, or whatever her name was. She got cut out too. Yeah.
I know, and now they're saying that she might get recasted. So what does that mean? If she gets recasted if this Flash movie ever happens, then her whole entire sequences in Justice League is just going to be for nothing if they recast her. That's the rumor I've been hearing.
Right.
So who knows?
Right. Yeah, you're right about that. I agree with you guys. Boys, you guys, anything you wanted to ask Chainsaw?
He said Mara, she better get recast.
Damn, I can barely hear them. I don't know why.
I can barely hear them either.
I can't hear them at all. But I can hear you guys, but I think it's what's happening is it's lowering the Zoom call so that I can listen to my Skype call. So, well, I'm just gonna assume that they agree with everything you said.
It's all good, man. This was cool. This was cool.
Real quick, Chainsaw. This is kind of a side, but it's still DC related. The Flash. How you feeling this season so far? All right. How did you feel last season?
It definitely is a lot better. Eric Wallace, the new showrunner who took over season 6, I think he had a better approach of doing the first half of Bloodwork and the second half as a new Mirror Master, essentially. Definitely a lot better than season 4 and 5. That was just getting overly we got it. It's the same stuff over and over and over. Barry can't use his powers again and again and again. So I think Eric Wallace took it in a different direction. It's unfortunate they couldn't end the way they wanted to, but at least, I think we have somebody who is taking a different approach, which is what we needed, I think.
I agree with you, man. What's coming up new on your channel? Make sure, by the way, guys, Chainsaw Reacts, just go search on YouTube. Anything coming up new on your channel?
Not really. I mean, I'm keeping up with a lot of stuff right now, and I checked out Stargirl, the pilot. I thought it was really good. Compared to what, because we didn't know what to expect from that because it's a DC Universe show, and then the CW signing and stuff like that. It's just kind of weird how they're doing that. The first day on DC Universe, the next day CW airing. It's kind of strange. But I'm just, keeping up with a variety of stuff, music and trailers that could come out, if there will be any right now with the whole thing going on. But, yeah, I'm just doing whatever at this point. I kind of like the breaks from the Arrowverse shows. It's really tiresome doing those videos.
I agree. It's a goddamn errand. It's a goddamn chore. Well, thank you, buddy. Thank you for calling in, man. I appreciate it.
No problem. Have a good stream, man.
All right, you too, man. Peace.
All right, peace.
There you go. That's Chainsaw Reacts, guys. I don't know why I said have a good. He was like, I don't know. He said have a good stream, and then I was like, okay, you too. And I was like, wait, what? Like, that's equivalent to have a good flight, you too, type of thing. Yeah, I guess what happens is you guys get muted, so I have to I don't know. I need an engineer. I need a red-dreaded engineer to do all this. These calling ins.
Yeah,
shit is crazy.
This is my first time zooning on some shit, so I have no idea how any of this works. I'll have to play too.
No, it's all.
Yeah,
Oh, hold on. What the fuck? Hold on.
Not like the movie. Hope.
All right.
Right.
What do you guys think? Episodic or for of? God damn it! I don't know how to like mute the ringer. Hold on. Let me just get to the next call. Let me do another call real quick. Comics Plus. What the fuck? Okay. Comics Plus. What's going on? Who's this?
Hey, what's up, Akasan? It's Blade GTR.
Hey, Blade. What's going on, man? How you doing?
Doing all right, man. How you doing?
I'm all right. Just still trying to figure out how to do Skype calls from the PC. It's not working out exactly as I thought. But
Hey, it's a dry run, man. You'll get the hang of it.
I certainly hope so. All right. One second. All right. Well, what's your thoughts, dude, on the Snyder on all of this, basically?
Well, the one of the things I wanted to bring up that I was kind of curious to get y'all's thoughts on was, did you hear about that comment about Robert Pattinson not wanting to work out during the his quarantine?
I just saw the fire in John's eyes, like, oh, I'm gonna get this nigga now. No, yeah, I mean, hold on. You know what? I got the.
Because you're a big Batman fan, so how does it feel when somebody doesn't take the role seriously like that?
Oh my God. Sorry, I actually had a sound bite for that. Oh, I got you. He's actually in the studio. Robert Pattinson, what do you have to say about that? Hold on.
I'm Robert Pattinson, asshole. I don't do that. Screw you.
Okay.
I'm
Thank
Robert
you.
Pattinson,
Thank you. Okay,
asshole.
we got it. Thank you for the sound clip there. Okay, I hope everybody heard that. That took a long time to put that sound bite together. Anyways, I know you couldn't hear that, but yeah. All right. Oh my God. Okay. I'm gonna give my comment on it, and then I'm gonna let the boys say something real quick. As far as I know, he was joking. The best part about this entire debacle is the fact that John Campea went fucking ham on him for no reason, or for good reason. As a Batman fan, I completely understand where that dude was coming from, and I got one of the best fucking sound clips of my entire life that I can use over and over right here.
I'm Robert Pattinson, asshole. I don't do that. Screw you.
There you go. So, that's one of the best things that's come out of this entire debacle. But in short, Warner Brothers, look, Christopher Nolan would not hire this dude otherwise. Matt Reeves, who is one of the best directors out there, would not be hiring this dude, casting this dude, if they didn't have trust him. So I trust the directors. I trust the people around them. I don't know this dude other than fucking Twilight. So, I trust in the directors, and I think I think we'll be okay. If he's joking, he's joking. I don't even give a shit anymore. But yeah, my heart dropped just a little bit at that moment in time, because especially when he was citing quotes from, when he was citing shit from older actors, and I'm like, yo, dude, Christian Bale should have been one and done. After Christian Bale took over as the Batman and gained all that weight and worked the fuck out, ain't nobody should be making any other examples after that, after Christian Bale. And even Ben Affleck, this motherfucker obviously does not like going to the gym, but that dude went out there and started doing CrossFit and beefing up. I have my opinions on the character, the way Snyder, where he took Batman, but I will say that fucking Ben Affleck did a goddamn good job filling in that role. So my point is my heart dropped a bit, but I'm over it now, and I'm gonna see what happens in the near future. Like, trust me, I guarantee I will be the first person to be release the fatty cut or release the bulk cut if Robert Pattinson does not live up to my expectations, because it's all about me and the rest of the Bat family out there. Booyah. Yeah. Anyways, what about you, Blade? What do you want to? What do you think?
No, I think he was being serious in the whole thing, because he had even said in Men's Health magazine that that he shuns the other Hollywood actors that constantly keep up with the workout schedule and everything else. I think he was trying to call out Zoe Kravitz, who's supposed to be playing Catwoman, saying because she had said that she works out 5 days a week during the whole entire thing to kind of stay in for the role. And he was like, if people are working out all the time, you're part of the problem in Hollywood.
That's a good
point.
And
I think that's kind of crazy, because you're getting paid millions to stay in shape, you know? If I was getting paid millions for a year to keep my fat ass in shape, I'd do it.
I completely agree. Shit. I'm not even getting paid from YouTube much, and I'm still trying to keep in shape. So shit, hell yeah. If that was my job, I'd be down. I'd be like, yo, I'm gonna do it. But whatever. Anyways, Blade, I appreciate you, man. You still there?
Yeah,
okay,
sir.
Okay. Yeah, so I appreciate you, man. Thank you.
All right, man.
Did you have anything else you wanted to say, or what? Are you ready
No,
for the Snyder Cut?
I'll let somebody else.
No. Okay.
I'm ready. I'm ready to see what happens. I hope it can't be any worse, man. Hopefully.
What if the Snyder Cut is worse, though?
If the Snyder Cut's worse, then I think people should apologize to.
Me. I agree.
Who was it? Because I mean, he took a lot of flack for that one.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, apologize to Akasan. Everybody line up. I'll be waiting for that day. I'll never forget the day that after BVS, was it BVS? Yeah, after BVS came out, I'll never forget that day. People were telling me to fucking die for like 2 months and all this bullshit, disliking all my videos and shit. And I'll never forget the day after all of this, after BVS came out, they were like, hey, Akasan. I got like 3 messages. That was it. Out of the thousands of people, but 3 minutes. Hey, because I just wanted to apologize for treating you so poorly over the last couple of months. I just really wanted this movie to be good and all that. So, and I respect.
And that's the thing. That's the thing. A lot of people don't get. It's like you're passionate about the role of Batman, and you're passionate about the DC, just like everybody else is. You want it to be good, and when it's not, you're gonna say something about it.
Yep, I agree. Blade, thank you for the call, man. I appreciate you, man.
All right, man. Take care.
Thank you. Bye. All right, guys. I'm gonna switch over. I'm gonna put Skype back on my speakerphone, so nobody call in right now. Or actually, yeah, I'll put it. Yeah, I know what I'm gonna do. Anyways, boys, what are your thoughts on? I don't know what I was trying to say though. Oh, Robert Pattinson. Okay, Sam, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, well, to go back to Chainsaw real quick.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. And I'll be back. Oh, wait, hold on. I didn't turn off Skype yet. Nobody call Skype right now. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Like, how do I don't know what the frick I'm doing. I said close window, but I guess I didn't turn off the Skype. Oh, there you go. Sign out. There you go. All right, there you go. There you go. I turned on. Okay. All right. Go ahead.
All right.
Go ahead.
All right. So comment and piggyback off of what Chainsaw said. I didn't take it from that perception. Like I was kind of like, to make it draw out more into like 6 episodes, it would make more of a business, sense to do it that way for HBO Max. But in all honesty, to kind of just like a one and done, let people sit through it, I can see where he's kind of coming from. But at the same time, The Irishman, I love the movie, but I would not go back and rewatch that again. I really wouldn't. Like if it was kind of broken up into different parts, like okay, this is a section of this is a section of this.
See, that's
like I might
though.
would do it. You know what I'm saying? Because with that, like I don't know, man. Like 4 out, even if every moment I love, I don't know that I would go and rewatch it again in this entirety like that. I don't think I could. I don't have the time anymore because like I'm reviewing stuff, I'm looking at stuff, like I'm getting stuff early. And it's like, I want to be able to love it, yeah. And definitely, I can understand where Chainsaw's coming from.
Bro, I can't even get through Batman v Superman without just like honestly that warehouse fight. I probably would have enjoyed the warehouse fight minus the fact that Batman was a fucking killer and shit. But minus all that, as a clip, I think that scene is dope as fuck. Without context, that scene is great. But watching that whole movie, by that time, I think it's past the 2-hour mark, and he comes in there and he's just brutalizing people. Like, I'm so burnt out from the rest of it. And this isn't even this is the theatrical edition. Like the ultimate one, it's like 2 hours and 30 minutes. I'm like, I'm not like, and then after that they get another battle. Nah. But yeah, go ahead.
No, that's what I'm trying to say. That if it was kind of broken, even if it wasn't 6, if it was like maybe like broken in half, maybe I think that it would digest better and it would make more of a business decision sense. But even like I said, Chainsaw was right in what he's saying. Like this is effectively it. You know what I'm saying? Like you end out and give them what they really want. But to be fair, even when he was commenting about like all these different deleted scenes. I don't know if y'all know, I was talking to John. If you go to Vimeo, the VFX companies that were working on Justice League had like drawn out actual full scenes that Warner Bros. Was just flagging and taking down. These are the VFX companies that they're just trying to show their press roll. That's all. They were just trying to show like their roles to give them clout.
Okay,
and
Robert Pattinson.
Warner Brothers was.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think he was wrong for saying it the way that he did. I think that it undermines those people that really did devote themselves, their physical bodies, to what they were trying to do. Even if he meant it or not, like he shouldn't have said it that way. Because basically what it did was just kind of trolled the Batman community. And it's like,
I agree.
If he's being serious,
I know. I definitely took that as a person, I took that as a personal fandom insult when he was talking about older actors and shit, not training for them. I'm like, who the fuck is doing? Yeah, and then fucking Michael Keaton was wearing a rubber suit, asshole. Like, I still like it, but it's not 1980 anymore. Like, okay, anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying that he could have been trolling. He could be serious. If he's being serious, you know what I'm saying, like. I'm gonna wait and see what he gives. You know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna discredit him. I think it offended me as a Batman fan. Like 1989 Batman, up until this point, I've been a Batman, ride or die. So it's like unless you can, back up what you're saying, I'm gonna definitely take offense to it. But I'm not gonna like meander you one way or another. But I think there was a different way he could have went at it, bro. Like
I understand.
It wasn't the right move.
I understand. So you're basically saying he pulled a Joe Biden. He said, if you're not down with me working out, then you ain't black. Okay, I got you. All right.
I'm not going to comment on that.
John?
I'm Robert Pattinson, asshole.
We ain't got that much time to go into how I feel about it. I'm going to give a quick little brief sentence. Y'all are better than I am. Fuck that noise in the butt and twice in the ear. Fuck that. This man is bullshitting. Sitting here with this mess talking about I'm not gonna fucking work out. One, kiss my toes, all 10 of them. That's incredibly disrespectful. Bullshit. Playing or not, this man is not playing because exactly how Robert Pattinson is as a person when it comes to not following and going by status quo and not going by the norm of societies in Hollywood and things of that nature. He is absolutely 110% serious about that. Yes, he jokes, but because you're known for something in nature, doesn't mean you're doing it, homie. And that's exactly what he's doing. John Campea went a little in. Yes, he did. Am I going to say he's wrong? No, I'm not. But one, I think it is a disgrace and disrespectful to do that to the fans, to the character of Batman. You're literally spitting in the face and saying, no, fuck that, I'm not doing that. You bring up James Dean not working out in 1970s. This ain't 1970s, and James Dean ain't trying to be fucking Batman. If you are trying to take a fucking shot at Zoe Kravitz, it's not even her movie, and she's more committed than you are. Your own trainer can't even get in touch with you and trying to make you at least do something, stay on. I'm not buying any of it. Y'all know, vocally, I was not a fan of this casting since day one. I gave it chances because, people like Akasan told me to give it a chance, and my homeboy Logan told me to give it a chance, so I did. Each time I did, he keep doing dumb shit to put me further away. So at this point, I'm like, bruh, kiss my grits. You went over the whole line to me with that. That's disrespectful as me as a fan. The character, those before you, all of that. And some might say I take this a little bit too seriously. Maybe I am. But especially as a serious actor that you say you are now, people give you credit for, it was such an iconic role like this, take it more seriously, bro. And just because you're getting paid for this is your job, doesn't mean lag time just because we're in quarantine. And don't try to put your own personal morals before, not even morals, just beliefs that are kind of subjective, and put it out the way that you're doing. And like I said, if he is joking, there's a better way to do it, but I highly doubt that he is.
And just to be clear, I actually love his acting outside of Twilight. Like, he actually is a very good actor. And I think that he can bring something to this Bruce Wayne Batman role that we've never seen before. But, bro, you gotta play the game right, man. You gotta play the game right.
I think maybe the other thing, it's kind of weird because you would think that he would know, especially coming from that Twilight fandom, he would probably know just how serious the Bat family, the Bat fandom really is. Like we don't play with that shit, man. Like we do not play with that shit. Like yeah, exactly. Samuel. So Robert Pattinson legit pulled a Michael Jordan and was like, fuck them fans. Wait, what was it? Where's my clip? Right here. Here we go.
Ridiculous.
What do you say?
I'm Robert Pattinson, asshole. I don't do that. Screw you.
Exactly, John Campea. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Can you guys hear those clips that I'm playing?
Not really.
Oh, okay. Well, that explains that. I was playing John Campea's quote there. All right, let's get into another call here. Oh, wait.
I didn't mind Campea what he was saying. That's me personally.
Huh?
So I didn't mind Campea what he was saying. That's just me personally.
Oh my god, that shit was hilarious. He was he went.
What the fuck, asshole?
What the fuck else are you doing?
Oh, you fucking asshole!
Yeah, get the fuck up and do it. Like that.
You can't even pick up a fucking dumbbell.
I think John just needs to kind of like mellow out a little bit, because like he comes across, bro, like he comes off with a really.
I love it. As a Batman fan, I love it.
There.
Look, if you can have fucking Tyrone Magnus jizzing all over sort of Snyder Cut, woo, and doing woo, we can have John Campea going ham on Robert Pattinson. All right. Comics Plus, what's up? Hi, just a moment. Wait, what happened? Sorry, I don't. I'm like not connecting things. My apologies. Oh, let's just put you on speakerphone. Go ahead. Who's this? Oh wait, that's not speakerphone. Hold on. Sorry. Oh wait, it did connect. I think it did. Wait. Hello?
Ooh,
oh no. No, I'm not old. I'm just.
I'm not saying you old.
Sorry.
That's disrespectful.
I didn't say he was old.
You said it's a grandfather. Yeah. Oh, there he is.
Like messing with technology. Yeah.
Yeah. No. I think I got it. I think I got it. Hold on. Fuck. No, it's just it's not the Bluetooth is not connected yet. That's why. I took the call and oh my god. But everybody's calling now, so then I can't get to the settings in the Bluetooth and everybody stopped calling for a second. Shit. Oh, it is connected.
Does everybody jump in the Zoom call?
Your boy Aka needs an engineer, please. Huh?
Cause I only feel alive when I dream at night.
What is that from?
It's a Mark Anthony song.
Oh.
It just popped in my head. I don't know why.
What the fuck else are you doing?
That man went off. Robert Meyer Burnett was just sitting there like, yeah, I'm gonna sit this out.
Hold on a second, guys. I'm trying to get there. Your boy is working. Oh, there we go. Okay. All right, YouTube works. So
we jamming?
yeah, YouTube is working. So that means Skype should be working now. Oh, who's this? Comics Plus? Hello?
Yes.
Oh, hey. Okay, somebody's on now. All right, there we go. All right, sorry about that. You were actually on hold the longest time. All right, who's this?
Yeah, this is Andros, the Warrior High Alpha.
Okay, what's up, man?
Yeah, okay. I was just listening to the whole thing of the live stream.
Right. So anything?
And,
what do you think about all of this going on?
Oh man, this is just getting way out of hand. I mean, I just can't seem to put things one thing at a time because I've been trying to catch up with each show, and the media just goes way out of hand. They just go bananas, like nonstop. Like, I have no clue what's wrong with these people these days. Like,
which one? Say what? Wait, you're going all dubstep on me.
Is that pimpin'?
Wait, what? Who?
Pimpin'.
I think we lost him actually. Huh? No. Oh wait, he's still kind of around, but not really. You still there, buddy?
Yeah, I'm still there.
Okay, sorry. What was the issue? What was the problem?
I said, am I still on?
Yeah, you're still on. Can you hear me?
Yeah, as I was saying before, I mean, everyone on social media just goes way out of hand on the Snyder Cut and the Justice League. I mean, to be honest, I didn't get a chance to watch Justice League in theaters because I had personal stuff. You know?
Right. Okay. So are you excited for the Snyder Cut, though? Are you ready for it?
I would give it a chance. I mean, Zach put his heart and soul into this movie. I would watch it in an instant.
Okay. All right. So you would love to see it. And what about the Ayer Cut?
Oh, definitely. I would definitely do it.
All right. Cool, man. Anything else you wanted to say?
Well, I'll try to catch up with the other DC shows because I'm still finishing up with the Arrow.
Oh, really? Well, I won't tell you how it ends then. So
Failed this city.
Right on, man.
For me.
Well, thank you for the call. I appreciate it.
Sure thing.
All right, thank
Take care
you.
of yourself.
Later, man.
All right, man.
Do you have a question?
What?
Do you have a question? I was trying to.
I think he just had comments. Yeah,
It was just general
okay.
discussion.
yeah, which is not. There's no problem with that. Like as long as this shit works. So that's. I'm just trying to manage the phone line right now. Like Aka's on doing a thing. Okay, here we go. This one? Okay, there you go. Comics Plus, what's going on?
Hi.
Hi.
My name is Harold. I'm from Puerto Rico.
Hey, Puerto Rico.
My name is.
There you go.
How you guys doing?
We doing all right, man. It's a late night stream, but I appreciate you calling us. What's up? Any questions or something?
Yeah, I was gonna comment that you spoke about the money that Warner Brothers already put into the Justice League movie.
Yes. Okay. The
And
money
now
they've
they're-
already put, right? Yeah.
I don't think that's gonna be an issue for them in the sense that they already spent that money. If they lost any money, they already, put it as a loss in their taxes.
I see.
So any money that they're gonna do now is gonna be a win for them.
I see.
So I think that's why they got like the people that handle all the marketing and stuff to Snyder's house, so they would know how they could go, really which route they can go money wise.
Got it. So for you, the way you're explaining it, it's all like a whole nother project. So they're kind of investing 20 to 30 million into a new movie, kind of.
Exactly.
Interesting.
That money that they already spent, let's say that was in 2016, 2017, whatever money that they lost, they already have to, go into the government and taxes and file that as a loss. So
Fair enough. Okay, I that's interesting to see. Okay. Huh.
The thing that worries me about this whole situation is the Pandora box that this opened.
About the what?
The Pandora box that this opened.
The Pandora box that this is opening. I agree. Yeah.
Because if the movie or series
The mother
is bad,
box.
that's only gonna make the Zack Snyder credibility not existent. So he's gonna be screwed in that sense. I personally don't think that Snyder will be, trying to make this after 2-3 years. If it's a bad, it's a horrible movie, that's not gonna work.
Right. So you feel the Snyder Cut, regardless of if it comes out or not, you still don't think it's a good movie.
It might be a good movie.
Okay.
I think that's why Snyder has been fighting for it, even though not as loudly as the fans have.
Right.
I think he's very confident on what he has. I think that the only problem I see with it is, like you said before, if this is a hit, people are going to demand for it to be finished, all the parts that he wanted to do.
That's a good point.
So what's going to happen to a Flash movie? What's going to happen to all the projects they have down the line? So
right.
People are going to be demanding us. We want this to be finished.
Right. No, I agree, and I think I'm about to have we're going to touch upon that in just a second here. But no, you're definitely right about that. And what was your name? Eduardo, I think.
Harold.
Completely opposite.
Harold.
Okay. Damn. Okay. Well, I appreciate it, man. Thank you for calling in.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Have a good one.
You too. Bye. All right,
He raised
so
some really good points,
he
man.
makes
That
a
was
really,
really good.
so he makes a really good point. I don't know why I thought his name was Eduardo. I apologize about that. I am not racist. I think in my mind I created this character named Eduardo from Puerto Rico, man. Like all right, now what I was gonna say is and we're gonna get back to the calls in just a second, but I think that was a good point, and that's kind of why I kind of wanted to get Jody up on in here. Is hold on, I'm gonna turn that down a bit. No, we can always talk about, because we can. I mean, we got a whiles to work, but my thing is, what if? Look, the Snyder Cut is coming now. Sooner or later, sometime next year, the Snyder Cut is coming. I wish it was coming out next month so we could stop fucking talking about it. But I understand they got to fix it all up. But I am not looking forward to the promotion for the next couple of months of them dick teasing us. Only on HBO Max. Check this out, HBO Max, and whatever. But because like I said, I got PTSD. It's some of the worst times of my life in my YouTube career was when BVS was coming out and when Justice League was coming out. It started to get better after Justice League, but some of the worst times was, and I'm not saying that's all on Zack Snyder. It had more or less to do with Kevin Sugihara and everybody saying, "Oh, our films are so much better, edgier than Marvel films," and people were just shitting, and the like back and forth of this war between fans was just ridiculous, and it was some of the worst times because you just couldn't like both. And if you didn't like something, they'd be like, "Oh, well, fuck Akasan, he's just a Marvel fan."
Yeah.
And then I would
exactly.
I would critique Doctor Strange, and they'd be like, "Oh man, fuck him, he's just some DC fag or whatever." I'm like, I couldn't win. Anyways, my point.
No win.
Yeah, my point is like what I was gonna say is that what if when the Snyder Cut does come out, what is the impact that's going to be felt? Is that going to change the direction that Warner Brothers is going? How are they going to how are they going to be able to judge what the substantial like bankability is? I personally think every Snyder fan out there is going to loves this movie regardless. And then I personally think we're just going to see a continuation of what we saw with BVS, and that's going to be the majority of people. Actually, there's going to be a little bit of a difference. When BVS came out, majority of people did not like it. It didn't do well as it should have. It didn't do its intended direction at the box office like it should have. For a movie with the Trinity for the first time, should have grossed $1 billion, even $2 billion, easily. But it didn't do what it was supposed to. There was a minority of fans, I would say, are a minor group that was in love with it and would defend it to its death, and they still do, which is fine. But the majority of people, it wasn't working. But the bottom line was the general audience didn't care, so they didn't see the movie regardless. Now, Justice League is a whole nother matter. I feel like the Snyder Cut's going to come out. We're going to get the same thing with the exception of the general audience. General audience is not watching this movie, the Snyder Cut. The general audience is not getting HBO Max. Nobody's paying fucking $20. Just an average person is going to spend $20 just to see the Snyder Cut. I don't even know if they would pay that to see the Game of Thrones season now that that's all said and done. So I feel like we're going to just get the same results that we got last time, is people that didn't like Zack Snyder films are not going to like it. And then people that love his work are going to love it. And so what's the rate? What happens after that? I personally hope Warner Brothers is like, fine, we put it out. You guys happy? Let us focus on what the future now. Your guys' thoughts?
I think it's one and done, to be honest with you. And to piggyback off General Audience.
Thank you for the $5, John, by the way. Yeah, sorry.
And things of that nature. No fun. This isn't made for them, and this is literally for, I guess you want to use it in this term, the movement, or to satisfy fans and those who requested it and have been really vocal about it. So it's not really made for general audiences. This is
the Snyder Cut, right?
The Snyder Cut. This is their pull to bring in more numbers and people to HBO Max. This is going to be a one and done. Here you go. We did it. Leave it alone. Leave us the fuck alone. Here you go. And then it's going to make its profit, however it does, throughout the run and streaming and numbers and all that good, shit in the third. But I don't think they're really marketing on general, audiences and things like that. I think other properties that they have going for that will rely more on that. But this is specifically made for the fans. This was a direct, here you go. This had a purpose.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I'd say.
Okay.
It's going to be successful regardless.
What? Wait. Wait. Well, define success though.
For the Snyder?
No. You're saying it's going to be successful, but in what terms though?
In terms of how they market streamings, watchability, how many times it's watched.
Okay.
This will get multiple views. This will get streamed. This will get watched constantly.
So success for you. So you're saying success is the success is determined and factored by how many people sign up for HBO Max because of the Snyder Cut.
the success will be, well, yes, they'll get the numbers for that, but it's also going to backfire because people are going to get the shit, watch Justice League, and then be like, okay, I don't need fucking anything else, and this could be out.
Possibly, yeah.
Or that could also be the incentive to keep them. It's both are going to happen. But with all streaming services, your rate of success is based on how many views and streams that you get. And they'll do the same margin with this, and they'll definitely will perform the numbers that they get.
Okay.
It's definitely going to perform.
Sam?
It's going to be a success, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with him. Well, I got two different things. In terms of the success aspect of it, they're taking a 2017 movie that was technically a effective failure, right?
Yes.
And they're about to make money off of it. Even though, yeah, they're dropping like 20 to 30. I think the guy made a really good point when it comes to the taxable side of it, that they are taking a older movie that was technically a failure, and they're rebranding it, remarketing it out for consumers to be watching it again, to digest it again, just on a different platform. It's like, I mean, that's a perfect storm in the sense that everything that they're doing now is going to get them more. Like, it's technically a success no matter what way. Even if it's the HBO Max incline or goes up, even if it works, and later on down the line, I even said, you know, if this actually did do well, like, they could technically go and make an animated series off of this. They could go and be like, all right, well, we're going to take the same actors, bring them in for ADR voice acting stuff, and let's continue whatever Zach wanted to do on animated form. People would watch the heck out of that because animated films are killing it right now. And matter of fact, the DC universe is like doing great. You know what I'm saying? So, in terms of like people like watching it, like the Harley Quinn show, like people are legit watching.
Right, I'm saying watching because, and that's the thing. Watching and streaming is a very different factor from actually selling in terms of units and things like that. So I think the way that I look at it is like people's perception of DC and Warner Brothers in terms of the consumers that were really DC fans have been really negative. And by them doing this, they're winning over a certain demographic of people, regardless if they're toxic or not, of people going and getting on the exciting side. Like the Stargirl, the Harley Quinn, like the prospect of David Ayer, like that is them winning. You know what I'm saying? Like they are bringing people back to the brand of Warner Brothers DC, which is, that's the whole end goal.
Scratching that itch.
And I mean, to me, man, I don't know.
Well, I was just...
with this continuing, I don't see it. I don't want to put my foot in my mouth. If the movie is good, right? Say the movie actually is really good, and like people are like, yo, I want more. Like, give us more. I think that there is a possibility of a flux of people doing that, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter to me. Because I think it should be kind of like, all right, this is what you wanted. You wanted the completion of this man's envisionment. If you want to platform this into an animated series, great, go for it. If you want to continue this into like a little mini series for HBO Max, continue it. But at this point, you know, I don't think that should make a dictation one way or another. But it's hard though, because technically Wonder Woman 84 and the Flash movie that's coming after this, are they still connected into this universe? Because if they are, the question is, is the Snyder Cut canon, or is the theatrical cut canon? And that's right there. That's where we get into like this really. That's where I would come back for the Jody side of this, because
I think it's theatrical though.
If the theatrical is canon and they're absolving whatever happens, you know, with the Snyder Cut, if it's good, if it's great, yeah, people are gonna be like, what is that movie? I Am Legend. Everybody loved the I Am Legend like alternative ending than the theatrical.
Brilliant.
You know what I'm saying? But even though fans are like, yo, this is in my mind the actual ending. What technically is canon is what came from the theatrical.
Exactly.
So, but this
because it doesn't matter. Like again, the majority, most people will always remember the first Justice League movie that came out, so it doesn't matter if they remake it or, I mean, yeah, you can remake it, but people will always remember the Justice League movie that came out. This do-over doesn't count.
It shouldn't be a course correction. I don't think it's going to be a course correction. But if it is, if it is really epic, there's going to be. that's where it goes into what you guys were talking about, like this interesting unknown ripple effect.
Yep.
That Warner Brothers and AT&T, if AT&T is going the way they're going now next year, and this movie actually does well. Matter of fact, I even do one better. If they go and they drop a trailer for this release of Snyder Cut with footage that we've never seen before on the 27th, there's gonna be people just chattering like, "Yo, what in the heck was that?" Like, they're gonna pump this as long as they can. So I don't think Warner Brothers wants to pump this at all. And if this does well, it's gonna be an interesting maneuver.
Right, it's going to be an interesting battle.
2021.
I agree. I think if this thing does well, and again, that's why I say they're really dancing with the wrong type of crowd, because if you just start doing a Donald Trump and listening to a very strong vocal minority, AT&T is going to be like, no, but everybody's asking for Zack Snyder, so we want him to come back. I'm like, yo, do you guys even know what the fuck we've been going through for the last couple of years when we had him on board to do this? This is the reason we're in this hole right now. So it's an interesting thing. All right. Give us a few more calls, guys, and I'm going to let my boys go to sleep. Give us a call right now. 213, I don't remember the number. Admins, could you help? Thank you. So,
yeah, I got one more thing to say.
Okay, go ahead.
You were bringing up how during when BVS came out, like you were just like bombarded with like, craziness.
No, it wasn't even when the fucking movie came out. When the goddamn trailer came out. After the trailer came out, that was somewhat the complete I saw a complete change in my channel after that. After the trailer came out, and I was just like, ugh. And people were like, "Oh, I want to smack that fucking face off it."
So I'm gonna tell you, this is the sad thing. For me, it was the same exact thing, but opposite. I was like, when I saw Doomsday trailer, right? I was like, "What the heck are y'all doing?" But I'm hyped. When BVS came out, and I actually was one of those ones that was like, "I'm cool with this. I like it. I dig it." Bro, I was getting hit with hate, bro, for years. People were like, "Yo, you stupid." Like,
what, Justice League?
Critic. No, BVS.
BVS.
People were bombarding me with hate.
Excuse me.
Because I was like, "Yo, I'm okay with this. Yo, I don't know. Like, it was definitely things I didn't like, but I like this film, And people were like, bro, they were hitting me with so much hate that I hated going into discussions like this for years, because every single time I was like, yo, I'm about to be the sacrificial lamb. People are going to be like, yo, man, that trash, and like the comment section would be like, well, Sam like this, like Sam was this. He's such a trash. Bro, I was getting hit with hate, bro. Like, I know you getting hit with hate because of your perspective on it, but I was getting hit with hate because I didn't have a problem with it. And that's where I was like, yo, the toxicity of all of this.
Oh, trust me, I was still getting hate. After the movie came out. It was just more mixed after that. People were like, "Oh, you're just a fucking Marvel hater. What do you know? I mean, you're a Marvel fan. What the fuck? You're Marvel tard." I think that's what they used to say. You're sucking Kevin Feige's cock. What do you know anything about movies? BVS is too smart for you.
The only reason why I'm not littered with it as much, I just stopped talking about it.
Yeah,
and that's part of the reason why I was neutral about the whole.
I agree.
Snyder Cut in general, or my opinion about it.
But
I was like, bro, I don't got
there are people. So of the Reactastic 4. I shouldn't really mention this, but I invited a few people to actually be on this conference to talk about it. I privately invited certain people, and their reply was they don't like, they love me to death. We go way back, Reactastic 4, whatever, but they just don't like talking about Zack Snyder. They don't like talking about Snyder. They don't like talking about this issue because they don't want to lose the fans that they have giving their opinions. And I get that. I get it. It's crazy. All right, let's take some calls. Okay, Comics Plus, what's going on?
Hello.
What's up? What's up, man?
Hello, Akuma. How you doing?
We're doing all right. We're all right.
I just had a question
introduce yourself to the people.
What's that?
Introduce yourself to the people.
Okay. My name is Ginger. I'm a huge fan of Akasan's channel. It's an amazing channel. The best channel to me, to be honest, on YouTube. But I specifically have a question. Well, before I get to my question, I just wanted to rant a little bit about the Robert Pattinson. What I find ironic, playing devil's advocate, and I would love all of you guys' opinion on this, is, well, Wonder Woman, for example, there was a huge feminist movement about her breast size and her body size, and no one says nothing. No one bats an eye. No one gets angry or upset over anything. No one goes crazy. But when Robert Pattinson defies the masculine image, the masculine aura, all of a sudden everyone's all upset at what he says. What do you think about that perspective on the fact that...
Sure. Okay, Ginger. Well, I will have to correct you just a little bit, though, because I was there. I remember when Gal Gadot got cast as Wonder Woman, and people slammed the shit out of her over not being big enough, not being bulky enough, her breasts not being big enough, and she even had to comment on it and things like that. So
really?
That was to this day. She still gets that, because I wasn't one of those people that publicly trashed her about it, but that was in the back of my mind too. I'm like, well, she is really skinny, because the biggest image most people had of her was from Fast and the Furious, when she took off that bikini and got her butt touched to get some fingerprints. I'm like, ugh. Okay, well, she's got to work out a bit, but and I still think for BVS, she didn't. I was not really feeling her for in terms of image wise, and I still think with Wonder Woman, but gradually she's kind of come around now for me. But I still personally, I still would have gone with somebody more toned up for an Amazon. So I would have to correct you a little bit about that. People have images.
Okay.
Yeah, people definitely have images that we have in the back of our mind for our favorite characters, and when you cast a particular person, you are going to be critiqued over that. That's just part of the game.
Well, also, I'm a huge Robertson Pattinson fan,
Okay.
so for those who don't know much about him, he actually likes to typically troll the media with rhetorics and stuff. I actually think he's really good friends with Lenny Kravitz and Zoe Kravitz as well. But from what I believe, anyway, I could be wrong. But my last question is, with the Zack Snyder cut coming to HBO, who cares?
Who cares?
How many people do you think will actually come to that and watch that? And, like the man with the white hat, or the white cap, for example, there, Eon Knight, for example. The Knight, yes. I'm looking at his setup, and then I'm looking at Samuel's setup, and I'm looking at Akasan's setup, and I see an initiative. I see an actual care for the look and what you guys are putting onto the screen and stuff, but with Zack Snyder particularly and all, who's going to do anything with that?
Well, I don't. Boys, you want to answer those real quick?
I missed the ending.
Okay, so basically, well, actually, let me.
It's muffled.
Okay, I got you. Let me wrap it up on my side. Well, Ginger, I would say that in answer of who cares, I mean, I think it goes both ways, but I think some people care enough that they would definitely see this. We're talking about people that have done charitable donations, that have flown banners over, have decorated Times Square, et cetera, et cetera. They've
decorated Times Square?
Yeah, they definitely, they literally put money up for the American Cancer Foundation and decorated Times Square with Release the Snyder Cut. They flew a helicopter banner over Warner Brothers one or two times. They stood outside of Warner Brothers. I think there are people that definitely care, but at the same time, there are people that are not interested or care enough to badmouth the Snyder franchise as well. It definitely goes back both ways, that it generates interest in the eyes of Warner Brothers. That, you know, there's no bad press. There's just press in general, and I think that's where that in lies. Is if they can make some money, then it's all good.
But it just seems like Warner Brothers is just making a consistent bad decisions. I mean, HBO has already been having serious issues with their viewers after Game of Thrones. So it's like, I just don't understand the moves they're making, but maybe it's something I don't.
Well, yeah, and I think that's what it comes down to for a lot of things, is like there is no right or wrong way with decision makings, especially with a network that has different types of content that they're trying to appease everybody, and it may not be for somebody, including yourself. You know what I mean? So that's why there's a world of other types of DC content that we can all enjoy if we don't particularly enjoy the Snyder Cut. Got it?
I guess my last question is, how many viewers do you think will actually participate in the Snyder Cut?
In the Snyder Cut? I'd say anywhere from
if you could make an estimate.
An estimate, I would say at least 200,000 views, maybe 500, maybe 500,000 views. I don't know. I honestly have never really researched that sort of stuff. And generally Netflix is very coy about giving that sort of information out. So I don't think we will ever know the exact number. And I don't really know if we can really give fair estimates. The only thing that we can compare. But if I were to bank it on something, I definitely know it's... I shouldn't say definitely, but I for sure... I would imagine it will not do as many numbers as The Mandalorian or The Witcher. So I would say half of whatever The Mandalorian or depending upon the way it's released. If it's episodic, half of what The Mandalorian's doing, and if it's just one and done, then something more like Birdcage or something like lower numbers like that. So that's what I would say. Yeah. I would say
okay, that's amazing.
All right, Ginger.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you for the call.
I appreciate your time. All of you guys do a great job.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Bye. So that was Ginger. There you go. All right. Oh, by the way, John, somebody messaged me. I don't know if you want to message Jody, see if he wants to join. He just finished his stream. If he wants to join in on this chat, and then that'd be a nice way to wrap it up too with him in it. But yeah, if he's interested.
Gotcha. I made him up.
Thank you. Sam, go ahead. I know you want to say something.
Streaming? I didn't even see that.
Yeah, so to wrap up, if you're just joining right now, and shout outs to the 60-something people watching right now. Appreciate it. You are tuning in with Akaza, and that's me, which is my channel. And then we got Sam, which is Team JVS, and the Knight, John Knight, which is All In. Is that the channel now? No. The name of the channel now is...
It's Night/The Film Cave.
Okay, The Film Cave. There you go, The Film Cave. I was like All In, but I think that was another one you were doing.
Justice League.
Yeah, Just Us League.
All In.
Yeah. All In. So the last caller that had gave an interesting point is like, who cares about all this talk about the Snyder Cut? Who cares? Who's going to actually be watching the Snyder Cut? Okay, go ahead, Sam.
Yeah, so to comment off of that, I think that there's more people unanimously that are curious than people that really want to just, I gotta see it. And I think that purging curiosity, all the trades, all the different media outlets, they are going to plug the mess out of it just on that semblance of curiosity. I think that, those people that are haters, that just hate whatever Zack Snyder does in general, they're curious.
Right.
Like even if they're gonna watch that joint. Like no matter what, like they're gonna watch it. And I think that my friend Jarrell, he even talked about it. This man ate some shoes. He said on record, I think I don't know how many months ago it was. He was like, "Yo, this is never gonna happen. If they release the Snyder Cut before 2029 or something like that, I'll eat my shoes." This man legit ate shoes. They made a video out. Go and definitely check it out. But he said that any person that is a comic book fan or just curious about what this could be, they're gonna watch it. They're gonna see it no matter what. Now, I think that the basic consumers that saw the Justice League, they might be turned off. They're like, bro, why do I want to see this again? I think that those market of people, they're probably like, nah, I'm good, But
sorry, guys, I grabbed
to
some.
be honest, I think that there's going to be about a 70% amount of people that are going to be just curious because it's been since 2017. They've been still talking about this.
Right.
They're gonna.
Not everybody's been talking about it though. I mean,
no, I'm saying that it's been circulating media since 2017, no matter what. You know what I'm saying?
Kind of, even technically, I get what you're saying though, but yeah.
Yeah, so I think that the curiosity.
Not Warner Brothers media. Go ahead.
True that, bro.
Yeah, I know it's circulating, but like we gotta remember that the Twitter world is always going to be on YouTube. Like we live in a place or we live in a society that not everybody shares the same sort of space, and our SNS is custom designed to have us fucking talking about the same shit of our interests and everything. Facebook, Twitter, it's all plugged into whatever we're chatting about. If I look at one Harley Quinn booty shaking twerk video, and suddenly I got 5 recommendations of Elsa twerk videos. So so it's a what's the word I'm looking for? An echo chamber of information and shit. So yeah. Okay. John, you want to say something about who cares about the Snyder Cut? By the way, Daniel, thank you for the $3. I appreciate that. Doomsday in a solo movie and the death of Superman. Okay, cool. And what's up, John, as well? Thank you for the $5. Appreciate that. Yeah.
That could be interesting. Yeah, I don't have a lot to say about that because just like I think generally a lot of people care. Because like I said, even if you hate it, you have to watch it to hate it. So either way, it's going to get views, it's going to get the attention, it's going to get the streaming tracking. So I think a lot of people care than we actually give credit or think of. So yeah, that's what I think it's going to. Okay. I think it's just fine. It's going to do a lot, really well. Got it.
All right, we're going to take one or two more calls, guys. And if Jody doesn't join in, then we will bounce because it's 4 a.m. for our people over here.
He didn't text me, so I think
no problem. He probably out. He was like, "I'm done. I'm tired."
Right.
Oh shit! Wait, what? All right, give us a call, guys, and let's see what's up. Yeah, 213 something.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know if you saw my message, but do you think? And I think John already said no, but do you think after 6 months, right, after this releases, whatever date releases, if it does well on HBO Max, do you think that they'll put it on VOD?
Huh? Video on demand?
Yeah. Not on their streaming service exclusively. Kind of like how they did with Onward. Onward initially started on Disney+.
Oh, no.
Right? And then they put it out on VOD for people to be able to.
I didn't even know that. Yeah, maybe. I mean, I'm sure people would love to have a physical copy of that. But I doubt it. If this point, if the Witcher doesn't even if Netflix isn't, because even Netflix used to make physical copies of some of their features. But I think they just don't. I think most companies are moving away from physical copies because just the cost is just too high to run.
Because that's more money.
Yeah,
they're spending more money on this shit.
Yeah.
Just listen, you got it. Here you go.
I think they only do that with Stranger Things, but I'm talking about just physical. Video on demand in terms of digital purchasing. You purchase the Snyder Cut.
Maybe. You know what? I'm sure AT&T will be like AT&T is the big dog, the big parent now, and they're just hey, this is doing well on streaming. You know what? We need to make more money. Warner Brothers, shut the fuck up. Puts this on your service for video on demand so people can own it for $20. Yeah.
I don't think they're going to do that for original material. they might do that for shit that's already on there
Right.
that they got rights to transfer over. But just like Netflix and everything else, their own original properties that they make are under them.
Got it.
I think it's just gonna be.
If there's money to make, trust me, AT&T will find a way. Let's go. Comics Plus, what is going on? Who's this?
Hey, Akasan.
Hey, who's this?
JK, man.
JK, what up, man? How you doing?
Simmons?
What's good? What's going on to you? Samuel?
Yeah. So what's up? What you think about all this? Or anything? A question or a comment?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it on topic with the Snyder Cut right now. I'm gonna just be clear. I'm not one of the people that would all release the Snyder Cut. I'm gonna tell you, when that thing first started after Justice League came out and it, yeah.
We're losing you. Whoa, what the fuck? Hello? You still there? Still there? Hello?
I'm still here.
Okay. So when it first came out, yeah.
Yeah, when the whole release of Snyder Cut thing first came out after Justice League, I came to think what could the original version be? But as people kept baiting it, as people kept bullying DC about it, it just faded out of my mind because I was not going to deal with the whole fact of people were so upset at something that they want to scream until something happens. And I remember your video the other day about that people really bully this into existence, and I'm hoping that that's not the real case, because it's not what people think that they can just do this whenever.
Damn. He was doing so well. Right. Still there? I think we lost him. Yeah. Damn. The Snyder cut him off. The Snyder Cut. The Snyder.
I'm right here.
Oh, there you go. You're back. He's back. Okay.
Yeah, I'm still here.
No. Well, you were talking and then you just like that. It's.
Yeah, you're phasing out a little bit.
Yeah, I absolutely know.
Where are you calling from, by the way? What multiverse? Burp. Okay, multiverse burp. Okay. All right. So yeah. Okay. So yeah. You hope it's not the case, right? Okay.
Yeah, I'm hoping that's not the case, because I feel like, even though I am excited for this, I feel like the Snyder Cut fan, you know what? We'll do this for Suicide Squad, and we'll do this for whatever fucking movie that they mess up on next. And I'm like, oh my god.
Right. I get it.
Special.
I get it. I get what you're saying. Cool. Damn. JK, I'm sorry, my dude. I don't know what's up with your signal, but it's kind of coming in and out. My apologies.
I want to hear what he's got to say, but
don't worry. I'm gonna take it over for you in the chat. But I appreciate it, man. Thank you, JK.
No problem.
All right, thanks for calling. Yeah.
So,
I don't know if
so
that's
what was he trying to
I don't
say?
know if that's my zone, because I was I had the phone up there, but nothing. I don't know. It's kind of weird.
What was he trying to say, though?
So what he was trying to say is that he just it was two things. One, he was part of the original release the Snyder Cut situation, but when he saw so many people bullying and doing online harassment and just bothering all these companies and people about how they want release the Snyder Cut, he just departed from his brain, because he wasn't all about that, and that he just hopes that's not the case. He hopes that releasing this doesn't set a precedence of oh, okay, well, we didn't like this movie, we'll do it again, or let's remake The Last Jedi, and nothing like that. I definitely get where because he's talking about the video I made where one person said, they asked me, Akasan, do you think the bullies won? He felt like by releasing the Snyder Cut, he felt like all that angry harassment online paid off, and they got what they want, and the bullies had won. So, yeah.
That's a good topic to bring up.
Oh, I brought it up. They did not like it.
I think,
Fucking 54%.
I think there's two sides to that story. I think that honestly, it definitely is a downward spiral in the sense of like the toxicity side of it. Like, okay, yeah, I can bully you to do this or get this person into this position to do this, like that's not good. No part of that is actually really good. But then I think about the other side of it in the sense that think about like the Sonic movie. When when the Sonic trailer dropped, and I looked at that the model of Sonic, I was like, that can't be it. And then they actually dropped the trailer. I was like, bro, that looks like some garbage, And like fans legit were like pushing hard, and like the director was like, you know what? All right, bet we'll list it, we'll eat crow, and we'll go and come up with a redesign that you gotta get in the light. And technically, effectively, it ended up doing better than they could have ever actually imagined. They're going into a sequel.
The one thing I'm gonna say is about the Sonic situation, because one of my students actually worked on the Sonic movie. All I can say is like some of that, what you think the fans had a lot to do with, was a lot less. There was already, because you just think about how quick that redesign came about. There was the most I can say is that there were already background talks of that particular design, and they already were kind of thinking about making changes. So
scrapping and redoing.
Yeah, so that first trailer that went out was more or less a feeler to confirm their suspicions that people were going to have a problem with it. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I never knew that. That's actually interesting.
Yeah.
But even to that note, like when I think about like Henry Cavill in general, like technically this allows him to get a lot more positioning to potentially be in another Superman movie. If this ends up being on the positive side, he might effectively get the sequel that he's always wanted.
I agree.
As well as any of the other cast members. So it's kind of like there's a two-handed side to this.
And that's the biggest rumor now, is the fact that the whole reason Henry Cavill's been quiet on everything is that he didn't have a contract, and now that's why he's making more pushes for everything, because apparently, this is just a rumor, but they've got more... he's been signed on for more appearances as the Man of Steel, and that's outside of Zack Snyder's Snyder Cut. So, all right.
Yeah. And I think that side of it, I think that's actually good. And I think that Grace Randolph said something similar to that. She said, I hear all casts are getting like extensions with their deals effectively, coming from this, which I think that's good. I think I'm actually happy for all those people that devoted themselves. Specifically, your boy Ray Fisher.
Yeah, he got gypped bad.
That was one of his first roles.
Yeah.
And like, from everything that I've seen, he was the cornerstone of a lot of this Justice League movie that got pretty much cut out. And it's like, yeah, he ended up on True Detective season 3. Great ups to him. Yeah, he has like some footing in different spots, but it's kind of like this would have been a really good platform for him. So it's possible that later on down the line he might get a Cyborg movie. I think that
let's see what happens.
There's a two-handed side to it.
Right.
I worry, like the caller was saying, that you don't want to feed somebody that's going to abuse you. You don't want to sit there and feed a rabid dog. Like, if you give a rabid dog something, like, they're going to attract more rabid dogs to come and eventually kill you, So it's hard to gauge, man. Like, I don't know. I can't really say one way or another, but I'm curious what John got to say about it.
I mean...
Sorry, I'm texting Jody.
Oh.
I responded.
I
responded back.
All right, well, let me take another call. Let me know. All right.
Yeah, go ahead.
Comics Plus. Who is this? What's up? Hello? Okay, never mind. Give us a call. I've got nothing. Yeah. One day I got to figure out how. That'll be my next research for next time, taking a call through the Skype line, because that was the best sounding one. Here we go. There we go. Comics Plus, what is going on? Who's this?
Hello.
Hi.
Is this thing on?
Yes, it is on.
Oh, awesome. Hey, it's Nemo. What's going on with you guys today?
What is up? The VJC is in the house, and Nemo, he's actually edited a few of my Flash reactions, among other things. What's going on, man?
I've been watching that Tenet trailer, thinking about, Batman and Batfleck and the whole Snyder Cut situation.
Yes.
I'm just very tired of being a DC fan. I just want to make some comment based on what one of the people I had talked about earlier regarding HBO. I think a lot of people don't understand that it's a streaming service, so that Snyder Cut is going to be on there for multiple years, if not forever. So
that's a good point.
I think in the long run, it's going to get millions of views, because even like the Watchmen series has like 7 million viewers, and that just came out recently. You throw out the Snyder Cut, it's going to get a couple million, just for people curious about it. They may not even watch the whole thing, but then over time you'll see more and more people like, oh hey, what's this movie? Let's go ahead and watch that. And then new movies come out. Let's say a new Man of Steel sequel comes out. Oh, let's go watch the Snyder Cut and see if that changes anything about this movie. Oh, Wonder Woman's coming out. Oh, let's go watch the Snyder Cut because I didn't like Justice League. I kind of want to see how that ties together and how that changes her character. So I think it's a little bit bigger and a broader scope than just a few 100,000 people watching, and then everyone forgets about it.
Fair enough. However, let's take it a different direction though. You're on the DC or whatever. You're on HBO Max and you're online. And let's just say it's 10 years from now. Let's go 3 years from now or 4 years from now. Wonder Woman 2 is already about to be released on HBO Max. You're checking everything out. You know nothing about the release of Snyder. You don't know anything about this. But you got two titles in front of you. One is a colorful. It says Justice League. But then you have another one, just Zack Snyder's Justice League. If you know nothing about this history, which one are you picking? In all likelihood, Justice League.
It depends on how they market it, because I can see a future to where people think, oh, the Snyder Cut's doing really well.
Right, but if you're not part of that demographic, if you're not part of that demographic and you're at Best Buy or whatever, or you're online or doing it, unless they say the definitive version of Justice League, I would say more people are going to keep on selecting the basic one because they figure that's the starter package, so to speak. It'd be
I would disagree, because even the current Justice League, even though most people call it the lead-in cut, it still says Zack Snyder as the director.
Right.
So if you put the Snyder Cut right next to it, and this is the extended edition.
Exactly.
That's all they're going to see. Exactly. They don't know anything about it. So we'll go ahead and watch the Snyder Cut. It's like, oh, hey, this is just the longer version. In fact, that's how I ended up watching Watchmen, because I had no clue about Zack Snyder in 2009. I was still in high school. So I just saw, the director's edition or whatever it was called, and then normal. I went ahead and saw the longer edition just because, hey, that's the director's cut. I think that's ultimately how the Snyder Cut is going to be viewed further away from the situation you get. They're just going to see, that's the director's cut. That's what we're going to watch, if that makes any sense.
I understand. Cool. Well, thank you for the call, man.
Good take.
Yeah, good take. No, you're right. Yeah, thank you for calling in, and thank you for always helping out the Red Dreaded Nation.
Yeah, keep up the good work. I don't get to comment a whole bunch now since I'm a little bit busier, since I have, actual films to work on. But keep watching it. Keep it up.
I appreciate that, man. Don't worry. I'm going to get you on that Ayer Cut then. You talking about you need an actual real film to work on. Yeah. I'm gonna get you on that Flash reaction. All right, man. I appreciate it. Thanks, bro.
Yeah, we did.
Later. Yes, sir. Okay.
Well, a lot of interesting points.
Yeah, I think we're gonna.
Yeah, it was.
I think we're gonna wrap it up on this because it is. What time is it over there for you guys?
3:54.
3:54. Fuck. 4 a.m. Yeah. Okay. Let's wrap it up here. Thank you guys for all the calls. If you called in, they are yawning. Look at my boys. They stayed up real late for this one. If you guys want to, and if you guys want to see more of something like this, if you guys want to get us all together or whatever. Jody didn't say anything, right?
No, he's probably not gonna ride back. They just finished the stream.
Oh, yeah,
He's dropping everyone off. So
no problem. No problem. Yeah. So if you guys ever want to see a sequel to something like this, we can make it work. I don't know what's gonna happen when quarantine is all said and done. But let me see. Final comments, I guess. Well, we've covered so much in so little time here. I mean, we could go on about this for days. But I guess for me, I'm glad it's coming out. And I guess to quote some of the people out there, the Red Dread Nation, I'm glad it's coming out. I'm just disappointed in the steps and the way it took to get here to this point. I much rather would have just liked it very similar to the Donner Cut, how the Donner Cut was released, or the Ultimate Edition of BVS, or what have you not. Just something they just put out later. But I am glad I'm glad it's coming out, but I just hope that's the end of the story at this point, because I like where DC is at right now. I like the direction the movies are going in right now. I like being excited about a Batman movie again, and because I guarantee you this, I was dreading it. I was definitely dreading it years ago, like just the idea of like a solo Batman movie with Batfleck. Again, as I liked Affleck being Bruce Wayne and Batman, I just didn't like the
blasphemy.
Says the dude that's going John Campea on Rob for joking. I just was not going to look forward to it, and I wasn't planning to watch BVS either. I think Dante had to buy the ticket for me or something like that, and it was probably the worst moment, the worst after effect of a movie for me in my entire history of watching movies was by far after seeing Batman v Superman. I will never forget just being at lunch, having lunch after that with Dante and a bunch of people, and and I was just sitting, and I almost wanted to cry in my fucking food because I was just so distraught after that shit, man. But I guess my point was, and that includes me getting my fucking finger slammed in a car door after Attack of the Clones, and getting my finger slammed in the fucking car door was less painful than watching BVS. Anyways, my point is like, I'm happy actually, and like I'm happy where the future of the DC brand is now, and I like the fact that we can actually have discussions about movies without trying to kill each other. To me, unfortunately, and I understand that people really like his work, but I also feel like Zack Snyder's universe, Zack Snyder's world, and particularly a lot of what Zack Snyder's image and vision of superhero movies are, what they're supposed to be, creates a very toxic, divisive and toxic environment between everybody. People will shit on Marvel movies, but not to the level that people have been taking it in terms of this release the Snyder Cut situation. People will be like, oh, okay, you don't like Marvel movies? Well, okay, well, whatever, fuck off. And that's the end of the conversation. It's just like, we don't go into, like, for example, I guess a good example would be, you don't see people going into
It went that quiet with Captain Marvel.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, what I'm trying to say is, like, you don't see people like mad that, I don't know exactly the best I was gonna say Joss Whedon type of thing. Like, you don't see people mad that Joss Whedon left, but people didn't like Avengers too. I guess it's a different situation, but I guess the main point I'm saying is it's just not as toxic. It's just crazy.
No, definitely not.
Yeah. I want to talk about this
inner fighting. I think that's what I'm trying to say. Like, we don't see people. We don't see a lot of Marvel fans fighting among each other, whereas we just see fucking DC fans fighting with each other to a point of like it's tiring.
Once it comes to Spider-Man, then it's just
There you go. Okay. So that's a good example. Okay, that's a very good example. Yeah.
And I
once it
think
comes to
that
Spider-Man.
that's the reason why I think we should have a part 2, because what people remember from 1970s all the way until now is Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman. They are the most iconic characters in people's minds, old and new, as well as Spider-Man. What those early 2000 movies did, people have this cemented perspective on their mind of what their theatrical experience of these characters should be. And because of that, there's going to merit all these different things. Whereas Marvel's like, some of these characters they haven't even seen before, so it's very
that's a good point.
Different. And that's what I want to talk about next time. But we'll get into that.
That's a good point. No, and I mean to go off of that is something I did want to bring up as well, is because I like Zack Snyder's work before he got into doing comic book movies in terms of the DC brand. But as a creative person, I understand where he's coming from. I was right before we started this conversation, I was looking at his when he did that whole "you're living in a fucking dream world" type of thing, and that one where he's talking about how the main point was he just like he doesn't care, like he thinks that if you think your heroes are goody two shoes type of things, then you're living in a fucking dream world and a fantasy land. And I remembered a bunch of DC, a lot of people at DC did not like that, and I remember a lot of comic book creators were like, yo, what the fuck are you talking about? But here's the thing is like I feel like Zack Snyder comes from a good place in terms of wanting to create something. I just think that his influences of what he read as a kid, what he read growing up, the kind of world of comics that he aspires to make is based upon the very early 90s world of edgy comics, when they were putting Psylocke in a fucking thong and Sue Storm in invisible underwear and
Ass
shit,
lost.
and Wildcats and Image and all this sexiness and super graphic Pit, Wetworks, all these kind of in-your-face fucking comics, the Rob Liefelds of the world. And I think that, and on top of that, the heavy metal and the Watchmen and all of the stuff that he's got in it, I think he is only in one particular universe of what makes comics. And that's the craziest part about DC, is that, like Sam just said, they've been around for so long that there's been different iterations of our characters, and they've already gotten their first shot. Batman 1989, Christopher Reeve's Superman, Wonder Woman. So yes, it is much harder to accept something new, but I definitely think that he took it way too far, and he has a belief system that doesn't work, that doesn't resonate with the 2010 at that time, the 2000 crowd of what heroes should be like. And I also think that's where Jeff Johns came in with the comic book line, and he was just like, okay, I believe more in this more wholesome type of feel. And Marvel does the same thing with their comic line as well, is they try to get all that excess point out. They made Wolverine stop smoking and shit, and that's where DC Rebirth came from. So I think somewhere there needs to be like a middle ground, so we can get the type of DC content that Marvel has been putting out, the same type of style, or content that the general audience picks up on it, and it helps grow a new audience. And I think somewhere DC can be that. I don't think DC always needs to be necessarily dark. As much as I enjoyed the side animated series with Apocalypse War, I don't feel like that should be the mainstream, because that was fucking hideously grotesque.
Limbs flying.
Right? I'm like, yo, So, yeah, okay, anyways, John?
Final thoughts, man. Listen, accept the new, respect the old, respect each other. we're all in the same community. We all love the same thing. We all love the same worlds, the characters. And even if you don't, it's always good to disagree. Just don't be, assholes about it. So just basically accept what we get. We're all along for this ride now. I'm intrigued. We have a lot of people excited. Everyone, a lot of people's hard work and literal money has literally paid off. So now this is our moment to enjoy it and bask in it and appreciate it. So yeah, y'all, that's pretty much my sum up for that. Just don't let the movement go crazy here on out. Don't get any more further ideas or craziness. Yeah, all respects, and our Pats can kiss my ass. Yeah.
Oh my God! Look, sir, if you're not down with that, you're living in a dream world, and you're not black.
Right, I'm looking at my fucking fantasy.
You know that's exactly what's gonna happen. Is they're gonna have to come, sir. If you're not down with Robert Pattinson, then you're not Pat. Yeah.
Right. What's that card? I'm gonna take that back. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh Lord. All right, guys. So make sure you check out Sam's channel at Team JVS, as he does mainly his reactions and reviews for the most part.
Yeah, I've moved away from a lot of reactions,
as we all have.
YouTube crucify you. I do more so critical reviews, dissections. I've been doing a lot of watch parties with different stuff, but definitely go and check us out. And I appreciate you, Aka, for bringing me on, because I think this gave me a fresh perspective that what they're doing with the DC, movies, I really do want to make sure that they creatively am able to really explore. And if there is room on the streaming service HBO Max for more things and more content, whether it's animated, whether it's a series, for what Zach is doing or what other directors want to do, let's go. Let's do it on the streaming service.
I'm surprised
where that goes.
Sorry, side note, why do they not call it WB Max or something? Like how come they
HBO Max?
Yeah, why are they calling it HBO? Is HBO technically the bigger brand, or HBO is the basically TV line of Warner Brothers distribution, or like
it's a subsidiary, I believe.
Exactly, they're the subsidiary. Like technically they are WB, but AT&T overlords all of that. So they were like, okay, well, we'll take where everybody is going to. We're trying to push things to streaming, so we're going to say, all right, HBO is the greatest facilitator of that, so we're going to push it to HBO Max,
right.
Which is smart in branding standpoint, but it kind of like makes Warner Brothers look like, wait, what?
No, honestly, no, because honestly, I haven't watched HBO for the longest time. I mean, I think only Game of Thrones. So to my mind, if I heard WB, the WB Network or something, or WB Plus or WB Maxed, I'd be more inclined to be like, damn, a whole cat. Like, it took me a while to realize it was all connected. So
we also have to understand that HBO is
Game of Thrones,
if not the biggest cable network things that there is.
Is it?
And because of with Game of Thrones, now that their HBO series are getting so much more bigger in budget, and now these things are becoming so popular and big, and then they want to do something, can create these spin-offs where this budget can actually mean something, put it into its own branch, and make continuations of these stories and spin-offs and things of that nature. So Game of Thrones actually plays a big part of that, because that
I guess that makes sense.
For each episode,
yeah.
God,
oh yeah. No, I guess that makes sense. Do you guys think DC Universe is on its way out then, or do you think it's going to merge?
No, they're gonna keep DC Universe because that's only $7.99 versus like this $14.99. Right. It's basically the way they're gonna do it. They're gonna play against each other but work together. So it's like some people that just want DC related stuff, they can go and pay $7.99 for that. But then you can go to HBO Max and get everything. Like you get the movies, you can get the original Warner Brothers stuff, you can get Cartoon Network stuff, you can get DC stuff, you can get original content, and it's like
how much is it?
Either or. So it's $14.99 for HBO Max. And if you already got HBO now, you're gonna get HBO Max. If you have HBO Go right now, you're gonna automatically get HBO Max. And so, so $7.99 you'll get DC Universe with the comics, with the old movies, the old TV shows, But
No, I was asking. Well, I was asking how much is AT&T paying you to promote all this? That's what I meant.
oh, nothing. I ain't up.
This dude's about to pick up an AT&T drink. Oh, hold on, hold on. I'm getting a call, a crystal clear call, and it says AT&T on the back of his phone and shit. Like, yeah, no, I get you.
I'm driving all day, man.
No. I appreciate that. It's all right. I'm in Japan. You know, we're just gonna bootleg it all. So, I'll release the Snyder Cut on my torrent. No, just kidding. Anyways, all right, guys, thank you so much. Oh shit, and make sure you guys check out The Night as well, the Film Cave. Doing the damn thing as well. What's the next thing you just put out a little mini movie, right, or a short?
Oh, yeah, I just put out a little skit that I made during this lovely quarantine times. So you guys can check that out. And I'm also in the middle of a top 10 list for the trailers of 2020 so far. So we're in the middle of that. So be sure to
good, because we haven't seen shit recently. So it's going to be a small list. Like,
right.
Shit. Birds of Prey taking the Oscars this year.
So if Zack Snyder releases a trailer next week, you think you're gonna add that to the list? I'm just joking.
If it's dope as shit, I can knock something out that I haven't covered yet. I'm only did 9 and 10. So
shit! I thought you were gonna ask me if I thought you were talking to me in terms of making a reaction to it. I'm like, bro, no, that is not.
I will.
I'm sure you guys will, but
I have to. I definitely will.
I'm sure you guys will.
More Twitter. Twitter is fun. Twitter is hilarious when it comes to reactions.
Oh really? Oh. Really? Oh, really?
A lot less trouble than YouTube.
Let me just say, if we'll just say, I have plans. Depending on if the movie is episodic, then yeah, I'll definitely do a Patreon thing. But like I said, of the Reactastic 4, I think only there's only a few of us that are going to be able to ride that Snyder wave in a good way. Otherwise, it's just toxicity of a city. Anyways, all right, guys, we're gonna get on out of here. Thank you guys so much, and make sure you're subscribed, hit the like button, and we'll see you on the next chat. All right. Oh, and I'm gonna probably jump on Twitch in a little bit for some probably Animal Crossing. Maybe it's already 5 o'clock though. We'll see.